Today's episode of the Bill Simmons podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, we might need them. There's going to be some coaching vacancies coming out of this round one. I'm worried about Portland's coach all of a sudden. He might be in trouble. Maybe the Blazers should use ZipRecruiter. 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within a day. They're the best at distributing your job to the best boards, identifying the right people, inviting them to apply. My listeners can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/BS. Meanwhile, SeatGeek, the best app for buying and selling tickets for sporting events, concerts, and more. For $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase on any game or sporting event for NBA, NHL, baseball, whatever, you know what to do. Use promo code BS. New Orleans fans, the Pelicans have made round two. Get your tickets on SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. If you missed it, we launched Westworld, The Recapables. Episode 1 went up last night right after Westworld on HBO. Check that out. Host David Shoemaker. I think Chris Ryan was on this one. Little Danny Heifetz. Breaking down everything that happened. I don't understand what the hell goes on in Westworld. Thank God for these people. Ringer NBA show, Sunday night edition. Joe House, John Gonzalez. They broke down everything that happened in the NBA playoffs. Check that out as well. And don't forget to check out theringer.com this week. Especially Monday morning, we should be breaking down a bunch of the stuff that happened in the playoffs and a whole bunch of other things. Coming up, I taped a long interview with our old friends, Desus and Mero. They've been on before. Yankee fans. That's all right. We talk about that early. We get that out of the way. And a whole bunch of other stuff. It's an interview we taped on Friday afternoon. It's pretty evergreen. We're going to get to them in a second. I'm going to talk NBA playoffs right at the top and then that interview. But first, our friends from Pearl Jam. All right, it is late Sunday night, West Coast time. Wanted to wait a little bit to see what happened this weekend before we ran the Desus and Mero interview. NBA playoffs. I watched 4 games today. I watched a lot of basketball this weekend. The big winners, the Philadelphia 76ers. Holy mackerel. Man, did they show us what we needed to see. Unbelievable. Lay the smackdown. Super feisty game. Miami is really good. They might be like the 6th best team in the playoffs. Didn't matter. Philly laid the smackdown. Ben Simmons, huge, awesome dunk. 199, I think with a minute left. Comes in, two-handed jam. It was kind of a moment. Philly looks like Joe House, Cousin Sal and I, we bet Philly on 7-1 to win the East a few weeks ago. And I think the odds are now drifting toward, I don't know, plus 150, something like that. If I had to bet my life on a team to make the East, I think it's Philly. I've felt that way this whole series. Just they're passing every checkpoint we wanted to see from them. Pretty impressive. They've been the big winners. I think Indiana could have been the big winners. Boy, did they blow the game tonight. Game 4, they had it. They just could not survive a terrible game by Victor Oladipo. 5 for 20 for him. That was brutal. They had the Cavs. They had the lead. They're home, 4 minutes left. Had them on the ropes and just could not close it. I still feel like that series is going to go 7. But I think they might have blown their chance with this. They could still win in Cleveland. I think Cleveland can lose any playoff game at any point. But man, that was one that got away. They could have been up 3-1. And it felt like if Cleveland lost that game, I do think there would have been some implosion potential. So that was too bad on the one hand if you wanted to see a cleaner path for Philly to get to the finals. But on the other hand, looks like we're going to have 7 games there. Looks like we're going to have 7 games with Milwaukee, Boston. An incredible comeback by the Celtics today. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, a combined age of 41 years old. And they rallied the Celtics back. Looked like they were going to win. They got a tough non-call on Jaylen Brown getting stripped with 40 seconds left. And then Giannis made a big boy play for the winning rebound putback. Giannis was great. It took Milwaukee 2 solid games to realize which guys to play. So that was an advantage for Boston. The other one is Utah looks like they are seizing control of that OKC series. OKC just is a mess. The offense looked awful. Utah just looks like it might be a bad matchup for them. Gobert takes away all the drives to the basket. I wonder what's going to happen. There's some balls in the air with the offseason now because you look at OKC and if they lose in 5 or they lose in 6 or however it plays out, it's hard to imagine Paul George staying. And that is a disaster for OKC for all the obvious reasons. Then you look at Cleveland. If Indiana is somehow able to rally back and knock them off, it's hard to imagine LeBron staying there. It just seems like there's a lot of things in the air, even more so than usual coming out of this round one. It really some new teams coming in, some old teams that might be getting pushed out. And I cannot wait to see how that plays out. I would say if I had to bet my life on it right now, I'd probably bet on Golden State and Philly would be my pick, but it's not like Golden State's playing that great either. If you look at the West, the teams that are playing the best right now are New Orleans and Utah. Houston defensively seems like they have taken a step back. Now you could say it's Luke Mbah a Moute, him not being there, maybe that hurts a little bit, but it just, they don't look that crisp defensively. They haven't looked that good for about 5 weeks here. Golden State, Curry's probably not coming back till round 3. They say that's a 6-week injury. So you have the New Orleans, Golden State set up. New Orleans, the only thing with them is they might lose a little momentum with just having a week off. They've been playing so well, really peaking at the perfect time, and now they don't get to play a game here for probably till next weekend. And then other than that, Toronto, Washington looks like that's going at least 6 or 7. This is a great first round. It reminds me, I was telling Chris Ryan, I saw Chris Ryan today. It reminds me of the 1993 playoffs in a lot of ways. So the 1993 playoffs, if you remember, it was Jordan versus Barkley in the finals, but it had a lot of parallels to what's going on now, where you had a lot of young teams and young guys that we were kind of counting on to take that generation, that decade, that were just starting to look like the future of the league. So back in 93, it was LJ and Alonzo Mourning on Charlotte. You had Hakeem was in his prime. David Robinson was almost in his prime. Those teams had kind of taken off. Portland was starting to fade off. The Lakers were starting to fade off. The Celtics, the Pistons. And there was this new blood that was coming in the league. Even a team like New Jersey had Derek Coleman and Kenny Anderson. Cleveland was looking like a potential juggernaut. Orlando was a year away. Indiana was probably a year away. The Riley Knicks were in there, but it was just this really nice blend of guys that were in their primes and a bunch of young guys that seemed like they're about to make the leap. I think the biggest one was Seattle. That was the Kemp Payton team that for the first time really made a run. They went all the way to the Western Finals. They lost in 7 to Phoenix, but it just was a really special playoffs. And this is what this is starting to feel like, because you have all these young guys that have never really been in a big spot before, like Giannis, Anthony Davis, the Utah guys. There's one more. Philadelphia, and Ben Simmons and Embiid. And these guys are the future of the league. But then you have the old holdovers. You have LeBron, you have Westbrook, you have Harden, you have Durant and Curry. And that's always when the NBA, in my opinion, is at its best. When you have the guys in their prime, the guys at the tail end of their prime, like LeBron, and then this new wave of dudes coming in, and everything just kind of goes at it. And you know, it really has a chance to be a special playoffs, especially if Philly's for real. And if Philly can keep it going, Philly lucks out next round. They get the winner of Milwaukee and Boston. I think they would be heavily favored in either of those series. And then Toronto and Cleveland have to play in round 2, and they're going to skip one of those teams. Toronto has not looked great, and I think Philly has to be the favorite right now. It's amazing to say that. They're so young. Who knows if they could stay healthy for a couple more rounds, but Philly is in the driver's seat in the East. It's incredible. And at home, they have, I would say, a top 3 home court. Right now, I'd say Philly, I would say Utah, and strangely, New Orleans, just because New Orleans has had such bad crowds, but finally they had good crowds. They had sellouts, and it really seemed to invigorate the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are for real too. Without Curry, I think that's going to be quite a series. I don't think New Orleans could beat Golden State, but they might have the best player in the series. You could say Anthony Davis is the best player in the league right now. If you told me that, I wouldn't really be able to argue it. So great series all the way around. Really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I think the biggest shocker for me is just how bad OKC has been in these playoffs. And the fact that they lost in 5 last year, it's looking like they could lose in 5 or 6 this year. And at that point, you really have to start looking at what you have, especially if Paul George leaves. I tweeted this weekend, Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson, I think, are the most excited about how this Utah series is going, other than Utah fans. Because if this ends badly, Paul George, it seems like he's going to leave. And odds are he's coming home. He's coming to the Lakers. That's been rumored for a year. The Lakers are in this weird position where, you know, they might have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron to choose from if the Kawhi thing plays out a certain way. So we'll see. Amazing. Plus, we have the lottery coming up. This could be one of the tumultuous 3-week stretches we've had in the league, where just a lot of balls are in the air, and it's hard to predict where things are going. With the Celtics, I've been so impressed by the young guys. And it's kind of like they're playing with house money at this point, because you lose your 2 best players plus Marcus Smart, and even having the chance to get to round 2 is incredible. But the strides that Brown and Tatum have made has been the silver lining of this season. And then this rookie class we have with Simmons and Tatum and Mitchell, all 3 of whom are better than any rookie we had last year. Really great times for the league. I think people get a little celebratory with the NBA these days. I think that's been a lot of the Twitter and a lot of the journalism and stuff like that. We're guilty with some of that at the Ringer. But at the same time, it's really, really, really hard not to be super duper excited about where the NBA is right now if you love the league. It's as star-studded and as talent-laden as we've seen in some times. Even a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who isn't even one of the best 25 players in the league, and is somebody who's winning playoff games. And Drew Holiday, who's been in the league 9 years. Nobody's really been having Drew Holiday conversations, and now he looks like a guy who should have been a 3rd-team All-NBA. So good times all around. I'm really excited to see how the rest of this week plays out, and I am prepared for anything. I did feel like, I got to say, LeBron, even though he's been awesome in these 4 games, there does seem to be a little, I guess the word would be detached. He's doing his business. He's doing everything he needs to do on the court. I wouldn't say he's doing a lot of leading. I wouldn't say he's doing a lot of inspiring. It's kind of like, I'm going to do all my part. You guys better show up. It's like leadership by intimidation. But today it was Korver hitting shots in game 4. Tonight, I should say. But, you know, they need that second guy. They don't have that Kyrie to come in and take the burden off LeBron. LeBron played the entire second half today. He's carrying a crazy workload. And he's carrying a workload that in year 15 of somebody's NBA career, we've just never seen. We've never even fathomed. So at some point, he's going to need help from the guys on the team. He got help tonight from Korver, but when you're talking about 4 rounds, it starts to get a little dicey. They have a lot of dudes who have never really been in big games before. And it's funny how much they're relying on J.R. Smith, who is one of the all-time trick-or-treat guys and is one of these strangely reliable guys on this team, even though statistically it doesn't add up. And the eye test, it's not like you ever think J.R. Smith is going to be a dominant basketball player. But, you know, I think LeBron is hitting this point where it's like, who can I trust? I trust Kyle Korver. I trust Kevin Love. I trust J.R. Smith. And then everyone else on that team is, you just don't know what you're getting. So good times all around. I still feel like Philly is the team to beat, and I've been knocked out by those guys, and especially Simmons, who we've talked about a lot in this podcast the last couple of weeks, but really, really seems like he has a chance to be special. Like top 20 all-time special is the ceiling for him now, I think. The stuff he's doing as a rookie and the confidence he has and the FU edge that he has, which has to be because he's Australian, really unusual for a rookie. He's just... Miami's trying to get in his head, and he's ready for it. He loves it. He doesn't care. That whole team just has a swagger to them that I think, you know, you really need. And there's a cutthroat attitude to them that I think we're going to see in game 5, because I think they're going to close out Miami in game 5. I think Dwayne Wade sees it. Dwayne Wade complimented them after the game about how impressed he's been by their edge and stuff, which to me was, in a way, a little bit of a white flag. Like, I think he sees the writing on the wall. But you look at the cutthroatness, if that is even a word, that they've used in these playoffs compared to a team like Golden State, that clearly something's wrong, and I don't really know what it is. other than they don't lay the smackdown when they have to. You know, today's a game where just go into San Antonio and sweep them. Take care of business. You have the three best players on the court. Just take care of business. And they couldn't. They were behind the whole game, and they just didn't look like they were just going all out. It didn't seem like they understood the stakes of this would be great if we swept them, and then we would have all this time off, and we'd have time to think about New Orleans and figure out when Curry can come back and all that stuff. Now they have to win a Game 5 against San Antonio. Delays everything by 48 hours, opens up injury risk for Game 5. It's the kind of stuff that a really good team doesn't do. You know, Houston, I think, has a little bit less of an excuse because Minnesota played really well in Game 3, and I don't think they saw that coming. But, you know, Houston has their own issues on defense. But the Golden State thing is just strange. They should sweep San Antonio 10 times out of 10, and they just did not take care of business. So the door is open. This is a wide open league right now, and I don't think I think people keep waiting for certain teams to turn off the on-off switch. I do not see it happening. Well, anyway, before we get to Desus and Mero, the captain will not rest until he has brought his adventurous spirit and delicious rum to every corner of America. Original spice, coconut, pineapple, white, black, grapefruit, whatever you want. The captain loves anyone who learns to mix like a captain. Nephew Kyle, what would you pick if you could have any Captain Morgan right now?
It's a regular captain.
Absolutely, captain.
Absolutely,
okay.
No question.
Yeah. Kyle's a traditional guy. I'd probably do the coconut. I like mixing the coconut into my drinks every once in a while. But anyway, we're picking a captain of the week during the playoffs. And for me this week, it's got to be Ben Simmons. The way he's running that team, the way he was able to carry them without Joel Embiid, and then still figure out how to have the same kind of impact with Embiid in the lineup. Embiid takes shots. You know, you got to worry about him. You got to get him the ball. You got to keep him happy. And Simmons is just running the show. He has figured out the book on him has always been, you know, play off him, let him shoot. And that's a mistake because he'll just find cutters and he'll just find open dudes. And then Miami tried to pressure him. That worked in Game 2. That did not work as well over the Game 3 and Game 4. And he really found his groove, and he's really has a chance to be. Once we talked about with House last week, we talked about some of the things he needs to add to his game. I'd like to see him add more of a post game. He needs to figure out when he's flying through fast break, doing like twisting, turning shots and stuff like that, just to be a little more consistent on making them. But you know, you're picking apart. I'm picking apart, I should say, somebody who in his first year is so far ahead of the curve, and you know, you just see the foundation of somebody that's going to be out of his mind in 5 years. I can't even imagine. Forget about adding the 3-pointer. If he just adds a jump hook and a little floater and things like that, he's going to be completely unstoppable. So he is my captain this week because he has, I think, him and Giannis, and then Davis, obviously, who's already arrived. But you're talking about three guys who really have a chance to be generational players and guys that we remember 25 years from now, the same way I talked about the guys from 1993, Robinson, Hakeem. These guys have a chance to be Barkley, Gary Payton, and Sean Kemp. These guys have a chance to mean for these next 8 to 10 years what those guys meant to that decade. So Ben Simmons, you are my captain of the week. Let's do it. Let's get to Desus and Mero. We taped this on Friday. Here we go. All right, it's Friday afternoon, Los Angeles. Desus and Mero are back.
That's back.
It's our 1 year anniversary of our last podcast.
Yeah,
I went on your show.
Wow,
Yes.
you did. It's such a beautiful circle of love and trust.
I just admire both of you guys for having the balls to come here when the Red Sox are 16-2.
I just admire the balls of you for bringing up the record of the Red Sox in
Before May.
What is it? Is it April? It was just tax day.
Mid-April, yeah.
Red Sox fans and Met fans, they love April.
Yeah.
What's your record?
Love April. I don't even check the record because how many games are left in the season? Over 3 digits worth, right?
Have you?
Let's calm down. We're not even a quarter of the way through the baseball season yet.
You know how Red Sox do. Come on.
A lot could happen.
It's going to hurt. Look, this whole year is going to hurt for both of you guys.
It's gonna hurt.
It's going to hurt.
It's not gonna hurt.
Nope.
Look,
The Red Sox are good this year.
They're good, but
And
the
you have Mike
Yankees.
Stanton.
What year have you never heard a Red Sox fan say the Red Sox are good this year in April?
I am a very self-aware Red Sox fan. The Red Sox are good this year.
No, you're not that self-aware because you were tweeting about the Yankees before the season even started.
Well, it was fun to make fun of the
Yes,
Yankees.
yeah. So I feel like you might be more obsessed with the Yankees than we are. We're kind of here chilling.
I got worried about the Stanton thing, but then I watched him play for 3 weeks. I'm not as worried.
I mean,
home run hitters go into subs. You're a sports guy. You're the sports guy. You know
He's
that.
a DH.
what I love, people were just
He's
like,
a DH now. He doesn't like it. He likes
people were
being
just
in
like,
the
he
field.
struck out 5 times in one game.
And
They're like, that's terrible. I'm like, the idea that he came up to the plate 5 times in one game. Let's think about that. Let's look at the bigger picture
He's
here.
spinning a positive.
Let's look at
He was
the
able to walk
big
to the plate 5 times.
He had 5 at bats.
That means
like,
we're
what
going-
happened?
That means
They
we're going
went
through the
around.
water.
They went around. Like,
People are getting on base. You know what I mean? It's happening.
listen, we're old school. We're old school baseball people. So we're looking at the long term picture here, Bill.
The Red Sox are good. So we had a fight. The Red Sox and Yankees had a fight.
I like
Yes.
it. I like it.
I like that.
Like
Did
what
I
I've
feel,
grown
did I
up
feel
with.
old school? Did
It's
I feel
good, man.
it felt
I
good?
love when they fight.
Oh.
And Judge was coming in kind of like the bouncer.
Yeah,
It was
like,
like,
hey,
way over.
keep your hands off the dancers. I'm
What
not going to
what
tell you
about
again.
CeCe with just the bulldozer move?
Yeah,
Just like-
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to CeCe for that. That was.
Well, I felt that was a moment you look at Red Sox fan like, yeah, pal, we're back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
the
back.
rivalry is
Yeah,
back.
no,
'Cause
fighting
then
in the
even
stands.
now in baseball, people are like, what's the greatest rivalry in sports? You can't even be like Red Sox Yankees because it's
And
not.
you're like,
it's not anymore.
there's-
That's not. What are
I
you?
don't know.
04? No, that's not a rivalry anymore.
the
But
We
Cardinals
talked about this the
versus-
last time, and that we had an awesome run with Red Sox Yankees,
Yeah.
and then it kind of died.
Then they started trading players back and forth.
Yeah.
Like when they traded Ellsbury to the Yankees, I was like,
and we won a couple. You won
won a
an
couple,
09. All of a sudden, there was no bad blood.
There's no
anymore.
bad blood,
Just
and
bring it
now-
back.
it's
listen,
coming
Bill,
back.
I picked that up, Bill.
You picked that little
little dog
backhanded
whistle.
compliment?
That wasn't a dog whistle. That was a fact.
Wow.
That was a fact. We have not won since 09. We have not won since 09. Has that stopped
9
Red Sox
years.
fans from saying that we buy championships? No.
It was very close. I mean, it was
Derek
the
Jeter
first
went
year of the
down to
Obama
Miami.
presidency. It wasn't that far away.
It wasn't that far away. Shout
09.
out to MVP Derek Jeter.
We didn't have-
great trade.
Do we have Twitter in 09 yet? I'm trying to think. What do we have? We
Yes,
did have
we
Twitter in
We
09.
had just started Twitter. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember I live
Obama
tweeted
year one.
Yeah.
I live
Was
tweeted
Desperate
the 09.
Housewives still in the air in 09?
I think so. It might have been.
Kanye hadn't met Kim yet. I'm trying to think of
No.
other. Yeah, this is a long time ago,
That was a
man.
long time ago. I see what's
Hey,
going
I'm
on.
just trying to say it's
I mean, it's not
not
100
a short
years.
amount of time.
Remember, what did we lose? What was it 1814? No, that was 1914. Remember
No,
that?
1918.
1918. Oh, sorry, you had to confirm it for me.
So
Thanks.
good fight. There was
Great fight.
the
That was a
Boston
big fight.
fans loved it. Joe Kelly was at a Bruins playoff game like 2
Got a
days later.
standing
They showed it
ovation.
on the thing, standing O. I feel like we're back.
Yeah.
Feel like
I
you're
really
back?
feel like this is gonna
It's
be a good
good.
year. They have it. There was 16 games left, probably playoffs. Too.
Yeah, and CeCe's really like, yo, fuck the Red Sox. Like, I love that energy, bro. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
we need this back. You know what I mean? Because like, what was happening before was like the games were the games, but they were just mad long. There was no tension. There was no weirdness.
4.5 hour
They were just 4.5 hour, 32 inning games.
Also,
like,
shout out to Yankee fans and Red Sox for just being like, okay, this is all right. 4 hours.
yeah, that's cool.
That's normal
I'm
for a
gonna,
Red
I'm
Sox
gonna
Yankee
watch this
game.
entire every pitch.
We've
of
all
this
done
game.
it. How do you feel about speeding up the game? Do you feel these new rules they're thinking about
Still
doing?
feels super long to me.
Yeah. What about the mound visits? How do you feel about those?
I would see. Have you ever heard my rule about banning pickoff throws?
No.
That'd be where I would start.
Banning Pickoff?
I would just have a line.
okay.
Like
How many pickoff-
8 feet over. No, 8
Oh.
feet over from first base. The runner can go there, and that's it. And there's no pickoff throws.
What do you think? But the pickoff throw is more so like yo, I'm watching you. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, but it does slow the game down. It does slow the
It
game
slows
down.
the game down, and like,
And how often do they
what is the
successfully pick
upside?
someone off?
I mean,
That's how- you know, it's
when they
just-
do though, you'd be like, yeah, motherfucker.
but the
you got him.
momentum of the game is off. You know, I understand
They're
that.
bulking.
Because like
understand
when
that.
they got rid of the intentional walk and just like we're walking you go to first base.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
mad
think
at that.
like that makes sense.
you don't have to
That was cool.
watch the catcher go like this for 4 pitches.
But then again, that takes away something from the game because you have to throw 4 straight balls, which apparently I've watched it. That's not as easy as it seems for some pitchers. Have you not seen people try to intentionally walk people and just cannot do it?
I could definitely.
That's
throw
more
4
like
straight balls.
little league, pony league.
No, you've seen it in major leagues. Like what's his name? Vladimir once hit a.
Oh yeah, well that dude can hit anything.
Yeah, shout to the
You know,
goat.
yeah, de lo mío personal, you already know.
I think baseball's on its way back. And not that it ever went away, but it does feel like the personalities are there this
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
And the Yankees have an identity this year. The Red Sox are good.
Flip your
Ohtani's
bat.
in Anaheim. He's the thing.
Yeah.
Houston's going to win 130 games. And
Telling
it feels
you,
like
man.
we're kind of back in it now.
I
In
don't
the
know.
I'm talking American League.
Yeah, the National League we don't talk about.
No, we don't talk about
I need the American League to be good in my life.
Yeah,
that's
at
my
least
league.
at least the AL East.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about the rest of the AL East. If the AL East is solid, I'm like, okay, I'm into it.
Are you
It's
a true?
us two? We kick the shit out of everybody else.
Yeah.
You're a true AL East fan because you don't care anything about the NL, the National League until the All Star game and then the World Series.
Yeah,
That's it. That's literally it.
I'm like, who are we playing in the World Series?
You have
So-
kids, right?
Yeah,
You have kids?
yeah, 4.
To see what happens when you have kids is you have to start giving up stuff as a sports fan.
Like, explain.
Like the
Like,
things
I'll
you care
watch-
about a little less is like college football. I can probably skip college football now.
Yeah, I skip it. I go back to it like, you know, when bowl season is and it's like,
Then you
know,
come back.
the Smart Water Tostitos Bowl, you know, like OSU's Tech State versus Virginia Slim College, you know what I mean? And it's like I'm sitting there like a degenerate, like watching it, like asking my phone, what's the spread? You know what I mean? Just like, but then it's like, oh wait a minute, I should be spending time with my children instead.
So wait, but you can't give up baseball for your children.
No, I
have
love
to
baseball.
because the games are 6.5 hours long, so you don't have to actually
Just
give
have
up
it on in the
anything.
background.
You could just come back and forth, like be
I
like,
think
yo,
one of
let's
the
do this
reasons
Lego
baseball
set
is
and come
back is you can do other things while you're watching baseball.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I watch most of my TV now as I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
Basketball, you really have to watch.
You gotta watch
especially
it.
this year. You
Unless
have to,
it's
look
a
up
Knicks
all
game,
time.
then you just gotta watch it the fourth quarter.
The last 10 minutes of
Okay.
the.
I was saving the Knicks for later.
Well, just get them out the way now because we talk about playoffs and we're not gonna be talking about the Knicks in the playoffs. So let's come on.
So this year, no New York teams in the NBA playoffs.
I
and
like
no-
how people say no New York teams, like the
And-
Nets are like a real thing.
The Nets are still the New
Nets are
Jersey
real-
Nets.
Like,
they play in New York.
They
Brooklyn's in New York.
Yeah, they're not the Brooklyn.
They play
they're
in
not-
Brooklyn. They play at the Barclays Center.
They're the Brooklyn
Barely.
Jay-Z's.
And no LA teams.
No late teams.
No, yeah.
The two big cities. And no Chicago. The
And what
three
they
biggest
really mean by
American
that
cities.
is the Lakers and the Knicks. Like they don't
Right.
really mean the Clippers or the Nets. You know what I mean? Like, but it's
You want those major market teams.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the season. It's really starting to look like we don't need the Clippers or Nets in those cities.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
They could go somewhere else. Send them to Vegas or
The
something.
Clippers
Like, I
had
don't
their
know.
run. They had the Chris Paul and they had Blake, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, here they come, and everyone here still cared about the Lakers.
Yeah.
The Lakers were terrible every
Same
year.
thing in New
Yeah.
York. Remember they had Jay-Z Lions to
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone became Nets fans.
Yeah,
People were
they
buying
broke
the
your heart. They
jerseys.
stole KG and
They
Paul
did, but
Pierce from
I was
you.
upset.
And
You
then
know?
look, and then for like, and Jay-Z was tweeting the city's under new management.
Yo,
and then
from the logo.
a year later, one of the worst games on TV was the Knicks versus the Nets, the garbage bowl.
Oh,
Just
my
a terrible.
God.
They both had terrible records.
Awful.
You just watched it just to watch two teams go out there in misery. Listen,
That's
New
what the
York
Nets
has
should-
the Knicks. They don't need
It
the
looked
Nets.
like D3
Yeah, you-
college ball. It really looked like Division 3 college ball. Like,
The Nets move should be like what they did with Jay-Z. What did he own? Like
like a point
0.003% of the team.
Yeah.
They should be going out and getting all like New York
Talent.
royalty like you guys,
Mhm.
where they could give you like little tiny pieces of the
Percentages?
team. All of a sudden you're wearing Brooklyn Nets hats on the air. And I would do
I'm just,
that.
like,
I would
crossing
go
out
to
the
these little
Brooklyn around
pockets
Bronx.
around New
Pockets for
York
that.
and try to become like the cool team for Brooklyn. That's the move.
You know
Because
what
the
the thing
Knicks
is?
aren't cool.
The Knicks aren't cool, but because the owner just doesn't care,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter.
But it's just like they're the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like they don't. It's like they're not
It's
cool.
literally
They
they say
don't
it in
have
their
to be cool.
It's in their title. They're like, we are the New York
Yeah,
Knicks.
yeah,
Like
we're the
we
New
are
York
the New York
Knicks.
Knicks. We're not getting better. We're not getting worse, and you still come to the game.
It's
So guess what?
generations.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Same thing with the Lakers. Like you said, like it's just like, yo, no matter how much we suck, we're an institution. We've been around forever, and you're gonna come to these games.
Yeah.
It's hard when a team's been around since like 1946.
Oh yeah.
And like somebody's great grandfather was going there.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to
That's how you
overcome.
get new Knicks
Yeah.
fans. Like you think any
But-
little kids are like, I want to be a Knicks fan. Like no, your father's like,
Yeah.
I went through this. Now you're going through
Yeah,
this.
that's exactly why I sit all four of my children
Put
down
this
there
jersey on and
like,
cry with me.
Watch this game. Life isn't fair.
Dad, we're
Do you
down by
think-
30. It's the first quarter. Watch it.
Watch it. Then like Dyfus comes to my house and is like takes my kids away from me.
All right, that got dark fast.
Well, don't you,
You're making them watch Knicks games. You're an abusive parent.
I think Brooklyn, the Nets could come back when the subway officially falls apart. Everybody's just trapped in Brooklyn.
Sure.
Brooklyn
Nothing else to
because
do.
of Escape
There's
from New
nothing else
York.
to
It's the only sports team you guys are gonna have.
Buy cheese, ride a unicycle, go to Nets
You're
game.
gonna
That's
be able
it.
to leave.
No, the Barclays Center is just gonna turn to the Coliseum from like the Thunderdome. That's just people
Yeah.
just battling for like food.
And scarves. Like, I'll kill you for those taro chips.
You saw Escape from New York, right? A million years ago?
Yeah.
That's what Brooklyn's going to be with this
Yeah,
train thing
trains.
goes.
Watch.
I mean, the Barclays Center is going to be like that place where Snake Plissken fought the guy with the.
And you know what I
Yeah.
see? I only see this in Williamsburg. I haven't seen it anywhere else in New York. Is those car to go things? Those like the mini smart cars.
Oh,
No, they
yeah.
have those,
With
they have
those
those in
drop
other
'em off?
parts.
I've never seen them. They're so prevalent in Williamsburg. It's nuts.
Because millennials don't buy cars anymore.
They're just
You
like,
rent
I
cars.
just want to borrow a car.
Think about it. Owning a car that's such an antiquated thing. Like you're gonna pay for a car, now you gotta move it side to side street parking. You gotta get car insurance. What? No. If you don't even have health insurance, how are you gonna have insurance on your car? Like priorities.
Technically, you only need insurance on your car if you get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I mean?
We have a bunch of young people here in LA, and they don't have a car. They use ride sharing apps. Yeah.
That's
I'm not going to say the best one because I hate the best one.
You hate the best one?
I snapped on Twitter. I never do this. I got so mad at Uber the other day.
You feel that there's a difference between them though?
I think Uber lies.
Yeah.
I think they're liars. I think they
about
lie.
what?
About arrival time?
You press it, it's like, oh, the car will be here in 3 minutes. And you click on it, and then it's like, the car will be here in 12 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
you're like, well, what
you
happened?
told me 3 minutes, motherfucker.
It's extra 9 minutes.
And then you cancel it, and it's like, that'll be $10.
Yeah.
It's like, what just happened?
Also, I love
You
it's
lied.
like they're like the car's here in 2 minutes, and you're running around the house. You're like, let me pee one last time. Oh, where's my keys? And you look back, it's like 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Like, what?
Now I'm all sweaty. I gotta wash my shirt
Julio!
again.
What happened, Julio? Then you just watch the little map. Julio's like going down the wrong way on a one-way street.
Julio, you're going the wrong way.
It's down. It says the wrong way.
Or like you make that decision before you actually open the app. You're like, am I gonna do Uber? Am I gonna do Lyft? Am I gonna do Juno? And you're like, all right, I'm dedicated to this service because you treat me the best. And you get in the car, and you have
they
to
got
stickers for all of them.
Yeah, it's like Lyft, Juno,
I'm like, pick a
Uber.
team.
I'm like, bro, like, are you sponsored by all these guys?
It's like a NASCAR car.
Yeah, they're like free agents for the ride sharing apps. So you think they get the thing and they just grab the sticker and they slap
just
it
throw it
on?
on.
I like Lyft. I've had good experiences with Lyft so
is
far.
pretty
We'll
good.
see. We'll see if it goes to their head.
Lyft is pretty
Right
good.
now,
Their
it seems
cars
like
are
they're pretty
kind of
solid.
clean. I like that. I
Yeah.
found out that there's this particular smell in Ubers. It's not a disgusting smell, but a smell when you smell it, you're just like, what is that? Why has no one else complained about
It's
it?
Uberian.
I found Uberian. It's an Uberian fragrance.
Uberian fragrance.
I found out that's the smell after someone throws up in the Uber and you have it cleaned up. That's what that smell is. So every time you go to Uber and there's just one, you know how you go to Subways and you got that terrible smell like burning yoga pads? That's that Uber smell.
It's the puke cleanup smell.
Post puke.
You go to a gas station, they got the little tree. It's like post puke Uber sense.
So what's changing about New York right now as a city? Because I've noticed it seems like it's harder to get around. It seems like they've run out of places to put people.
Yes.
Yeah, there's just
And in
it's
Brooklyn
going
people
vertical.
are going, yeah, I'm moving to this new part of Brooklyn. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Where is that?
there are the parts of Brooklyn where it's just like on the map it says there be dragons here. It's not fully like explored.
It's wild. It's just like like when you're playing a video game and like you haven't discovered that part of the map.
unlock a new board.
It's just like unlock.
No, New York is changed. It's a lot more people now, and then the subway's just falling apart, and the city's just kind of like.
The trains are from like 1873.
And New York uses the same excuse for the subway that we use for the Yankees. They're like, "This old. What do you want?
What do you want?
It's tradition. What do you want?
Hey, it's tradition. We 6 passages. What do you want to
What?
do?
I was at my dad's house. He has this TV from 2004 that he never changed, and he had it had a line down the right side of it. And he was just like, that TV was state of the art when I got it. I was like, yeah, you bought it in 2004. It's like they have all these great TVs. It's this whole world, smart TVs, Netflix.
Yeah.
And he was just going to ride this TV into the ground.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of feel about New York City with the subway system.
Yeah.
Something's wild is going to happen.
You know that line is going to start running down the screen soon and you have to get a new TV. But
I think
everybody's
it
like,
might have
no,
happened
it's
already.
fine. No, we'll fix it.
It's okay. just little tune-ups here and there. Like, nah. you gotta
No,
own
like,
the whole
it needs
thing.
to be fixed.
The subway needs competition. that's literally the only thing that's gonna fix it. Because like right now, if you go make the subways better, they're gonna be like, or else what?
Or else what?
You
What
gonna
are
walk?
do?
Didn't think so. All right,
You
fares going up,
motherfucker. Huh?
Now, if Elon Musk wants to, I don't want him making a subway because he's already too powerful.
Come
we need
on,
to stop him.
but
But
bus subway start beating
a Tesla
brain
subway?
waves and shit. Like, nah, bro.
it's just like you're standing in like a hovercraft just zooming through a
You're
tunnel.
just sitting there. The ads will change to your preferences. Like, why is this happening? I don't know what's going on.
Well, isn't it true that like James Dolan, what really needs
Is
to
a
happen
jerk?
is they need to do Penn Station
Yeah,
and they need to move Madison Square Garden, basically.
Yeah.
And James Dolan was like, that all sounds great. Fuck you.
yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
No, thanks.
Yeah, no thanks.
Literally.
He doesn't
Sorry
care.
about your subway system.
They're
doesn't
trying
care.
to move Penn Station to across the street underneath the post office.
Yeah.
Because right now, you've been to Penn Station.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst places on
It's
earth.
not great.
It's
And,
not good at all.
Wasn't great 40 years ago either. No, seems like it's better.
I can't even imagine how bad it is.
Bad. It's wild. I'm like, so this guy is masturbating while urinating into a cup right in front of the pizza place. Like, what? I don't understand.
Is that part of the pizza?
Like, yeah, is this part of the
Excuse me,
deal?
you said pizza place? Put some respect on the name. At the combination KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
Yo, I'm not
Dunkin'
even
Donuts.
joking. I don't know where we were going or heading from or whatever, but we went into that combination Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, whatever, and it was just this dude with like 1,000-yard stare who just stood in front of us and hovered over us the entire meal, fam. The entire, like, I got a 3-piece, he got like a 4, was just sitting there eating. This guy's just sitting there looking at us like, yeah. I don't know if he was turned on or hungry or what. I was like, this is weird.
And it's so wild because that's like
Moving to Jersey.
that's such an important part of America, the Eastern Corridor on Amtrak. And you would think Penn Station would be better. And it's just like you have like a congressman going back to DC.
True.
And there's just like homeless people and sex offenders just running around with no shoes on, and security's just like, hey, I mean, don't come too early.
I went there one time and there was a fire in a garbage can right outside the station. So I go inside and I tell one of like the cops with, like, with the machine guns, like, oh, there's a fire. There's somebody must have thrown something on fire in the trash can outside because there's fire. He's like, is it a big fire? All right. Yo, Joe, go check that garbage can outside. I guess, I don't know. This guy said there's a fucking fire, something like that. I don't know. Who cares? This place is a piece of trash anyway.
Listen,
I was like, wow, bro. Like,
that's
you
that.
really don't
The
care.
New York saying, if you see something, say something. It means say something to a cop so you can feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
They go back, really? You wasting my time with
What
that?
are you telling me? Huh? Does the fire have a gun? Then get out of my face.
At JFK, I saw a suitcase. It was just like left unattended. And I was like, if I tell someone, they're going to shut down this terminal.
So
And maybe I'll send a text after we're in there.
JFK is an interesting place. It's almost like its own city.
oh yeah.
You land in a plane and then you just walk for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Until you get to baggage
You get your
claim.
steps in.
Or hopefully
And then-
you see somewhere to eat food.
Yeah, somewhere.
Then you get your bag, and then you have to figure out however you're getting to where you're getting, and that's another hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
It's like another trip after the trip. It's this bonus trip you didn't know you had to worry about.
So if you think JFK is fun, have you flown out of LaGuardia recently?
Oh, man.
LaGuardia seems like it's falling apart.
LaGuardia is Rikers Island.
LaGuardia is just...
LaGuardia is Rikers Island.
Do you
They are
remember
the
in
same
Waco,
thing.
Texas, when David Koresh just took the wheels off a school bus and submerged it in the ground? That's LaGuardia. Right now in LaGuardia, there's certain terminals when you land, you get your luggage, and you have to get on a shuttle bus that takes you across the highway to like
Across
the
the
Uber,
highway?
Yes.
to like the Uber waiting lot. Yeah. So now you're on the bus with like celebrities, random people. Like someone said in my face, they're like, "Hey, you're that guy from the show." I was like, "Yeah, kind of, sort of."
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's your best interview? What do you want your rainbow to say?" I'm like, "How long is this ride going?"
I was like, bro, I just woke up an hour ago. Like,
It's like,
I
don't
can't
do this. No,
really
LaGuardia, and
stop.
LaGuardia is like, "Oh, you want food? Sabaros. That's
Yo,
it.
go ahead.
That's it.
Eat that-
Should have ate at home."
Yeah.
Sabaros Monopoly.
Yeah, would you like some extra Narcan on top?
Yeah. What's funny is when you go into an airport terminal that's actually nice.
Yeah.
I was in the Boston, the JetBlue one yesterday.
Oh,
It was
nice.
nice. There were
Yeah.
restaurant options.
Don't they have
and
rocking chairs at that one?
massage chairs
Yeah.
and bars.
Yeah,
and
man.
there was a Wahlburgers. Wahlburgers.
What's wild, being from New York, you would expect New York to have like top of the notch, one of the
Oh,
best
yeah.
airport
Oh,
systems.
yes.
And you go everywhere else, you're just like, wow.
Bruh, I'm like,
This
fly me
is-
out of Newark, please.
But I think what you said earlier is the reason. Because New York has no competition.
There's no competition.
And New York's whole thing is like, we're the best.
Yeah.
We're the best.
You're going to like it.
Screw you.
What do we? You don't like it here? Then leave. Get the
get
fuck
outta
out of
here.
here.
You don't like the airport? Guess what? You're still in New York, pal.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
You don't have a choice.
You don't
How
have a
about
choice.
that?
I think this is the state motto. You don't like it, get out of here.
I believe that's Andrew Cuomo's exact. That's his running platform.
You know who was on New York's corner though? It was Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Los
what?
Angeles is coming on as a city.
Yeah.
And by the way, I my loyalty is to Boston. I
We
don't
know
care.
it.
I'm a
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
in this race.
You must hate it. I'm saying you must hate
Like
it.
when I started Grayling in the beginning of the decade, it was really hard to get young people to move out here. And now it's easy.
Now, yeah, everybody we know from New York is just like
Yeah,
shows
once
up on
they
a timeline like,
realize-
oh, I'm in
Yeah,
LA now.
Yeah.
Once they realize it's 80 degrees all the time, but you can still wear a hoodie,
Yeah.
it's like, they're like, oh, wow, I'm in there. Like, every Uber is $2. Like, I can Uber
Nah, I'm
from here to
too
Santa Monica for
neurotic to live out
$3.
here. I need more sirens.
The biggest LA is going to get both of you at some point.
Oh, definitely.
It's going to be great.
Definitely.
I can't wait.
Wait till we're doing this. I come in with sandals with my toes showing. I don't even
Oh,
watch
man.
baseball anymore.
I don't even.
I'm like, Bill, did you see the latest cricket match?
Hey, Bill.
Cricket.
Hey, Bill. I
Bill,
brought you
Trinidad
Premier
versus
League.
Jamaica. They're on day 2. The score is 80 to 104.
I brought you this stuff from Erewhon. I hope you enjoy it. It's really good for you.
It's a vegan
It's
gluten-free
deer
soup.
antler probiotics.
Deer antler shots, with kombucha.
Nah, you can see us out here in LA. I could see us out here.
Quick break to talk about MeUndies. I wear MeUndies every day to the point that my family actually makes fun of me. I have no other underwear. I really don't. Made from the softest materials on earth, 3 times softer than cotton. MeUndies are the most comfortable and fun undies you and your significant other will ever own. Ladies, they come in tons of different colors and styles, including solids and lace, boy, short, bikini, and thong. Something for everyone, every occasion. Fellas, the diamond seam pouch gives your stuff the support it needs without feeling too tight. MeUndies is so sure you love their underwear, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, get a full refund. Right now, my listeners get 20% off their first pair plus free shipping. Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. What are you waiting for? 20% off, free shipping, 100% satisfaction guarantee, and the best and softest underwear you will ever own. Go to MeUndies.com/BS. It's a limited time offer. Start wearing the best underwear of your life. It changed my life. It's time to let MeUndies change yours. MeUndies.com/BS. Back to the only 2 dudes from the Bronx that I've ever liked. What's the future for you guys? How long is your Vice deal?
I have no fucking clue.
That's I haven't read. Nobody's on the reporting about what your future is corner. I don't even know.
We're just doing it.
You just do your thing. You bang it out.
Rolling.
You know what's funny? I remember we came in to do the Vice show, and at the end of the shoot, they were like, "Congrats, this is season 2." And I was like,
"Oh, okay."
I was like, "How many episodes?" It was like something. How many episodes were in the first season? Something like 100. It was like,
we were like
it felt like Game of Thrones, and I was like, literally, if you guys didn't tell us that was the beginning of season 2, we would just keep recording. We'd just keep recording for 10 years, and at the end of it, we'd be like,
if we didn't have management, we could have definitely got tricked into like a 20-year deal, like
just like after 1 year, I'm like, I haven't gotten paid in a while.
Hey, my house is being foreclosed on.
They're like, yeah, we'll get back to you.
You can see how it happens, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you don't know any better, you can get totally taken advantage.
But then also, it doesn't, I mean, it's work, but it's like fun to us.
Yeah.
So, like it's a fun environment coming to Vice. You get to hang with him. We watch the clips. It's like, whoa, what is this? Then you go back home, and it's not like at the end of the day, we're like, oh, God. Because we've met other hosts that do late night shows, and they're just like, how do you, the grind?
What's a grind? How do you do it every day?
Okay, I don't know why you had the accent, so everyone knows what we're talking about.
Weird late night accent.
Like I tried to be anonymous, but you just want to. That clearly was not Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy does a lot of accents. That could have been Jimmy. Shout to Jimmy Fallon.
That's why when everybody who finishes a late night show, they grow a beard right after.
Yeah, immediately. Look at Letterman's, bro.
They grow like a beard. They almost try to become a different human being.
Yeah,
because that's that. I'm not doing anything. I'm not shaving. I'm not getting up in the morning. I'm not leaving my house. I'm done with that.
I bathe by just dipping my body in water and soaking for an hour.
I think that's where you want to get to as a point as a late night host or a talk show. You want to get that Letterman thing. Where what's he doing? 12 episodes, or is it?
It might even be 6.
6 episodes for like 12 million each, or some stupid.
Man, I don't know how much fuck you money Letterman has, but it's a significant amount. I don't know if he could just like write a check to buy the Nets tomorrow or like that kind of money.
He probably could. I always wondered that. Like, and this is a great question for you. Why don't people who have sports franchises or own teams, and the fan base hates the owner kind of want to get rid of the team, why don't more celebrity people or like people with a ton of money, like you said, like fuck you money, step up and say like, hey, I'm going to buy the Atlanta Hawks or whatever.
Why would you want to buy that?
The Falcons or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood that.
That seems like a waste of money. If you don't know anything about running an organization, that seems like a lot of money to waste money into.
But you could put together a group and just be...
You could, but the chances of it going wrong are just
you're doing spreadsheets on your own. Like, we're going to draft Julio.
Imagine you want the Knicks and like, I'm writing the checks. I'm like,
sorry, Kyle.
Frank. I can't pronounce his last name. Here's your check.
Newportina. Here's the check, pal.
Kyle O'Quinn's like, I'm having trouble with my shirt. I'm like, I'll talk to you later. Like,
listen, man,
I'm on the phone with Blue Cross right now.
Talk to Margarita. She's the receptionist. I can't tell you nothing.
Well, the worst case scenario would be what would happen to Jeter, right? Jeter was like this unanimous approval guy in New York. And within a year, people are like, fuck that guy.
Well, people outside of New York. People outside. He's still a hero. He's getting a statue in front of Yankee Stadium.
He gave you guys Stanton.
For
like 30 cents of the dollar.
No, there's no collusion between the Yankees and the
No, and it's funny because when that whole thing came about, that he joined the group that was going to buy the Marlins, I was like, Derek Jeter's going to go down to Florida and get us Giancarlo Stanton.
He called it. Look at the Yankees.
By the way, I totally support. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, come on.
If I was like, I would try to help out the Celtics or the Red Sox.
If Manny Ramirez went down and bought the Marlins and was like, yo, here's Giancarlo Stanton, you would love it.
It's like Manny Ramirez has traded for Bryce Harper. You got like, I'm like, what? How do you pull that off?
How do you do that?
Oh my God, I'd be livid.
I do think this has been bad for Jeter.
As far as his image?
Yeah, just in general. Like, he just looks like a schmuck.
But the beauty of it is Jeter's never cared about his image.
Yeah.
Well, he
it's
obviously
wild.
cares a little bit.
No, he
'cause
cares
did that
about
Players
protecting
Tribune
it.
thing. He's done.
He cares about protecting his image. He doesn't really care what other people think about his image. That's why he doesn't answer. Think about his interviews and stuff. He doesn't show up for certain events that GMs should show up for. And like events, remember, was it like the opening of the season? There was like some meeting he didn't show up for, or he took no questions. And people are just saying he's kind of aloofish. That's always how he's been. Even as a
Sounds
player.
like a great guy to run a team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be that. If you're gonna be like the head, because he was the captain because of that. Because it was just like, he came in the game, he did his thing, and then he was unbesmirched. Like, you couldn't really dig up any dirt on Derek Jeter except like the fruit basket stuff and like all that other stuff.
And we don't even know if that's true.
And we don't even know if that's
like
true.
But if it was true,
It's like the P tape. It's
Yeah, exactly.
We kind
It's
of
very
want it to be
swaggy,
true,
though.
but who
Yeah.
knows?
Is the idea of Derek Jeter just giving a chick a basket like, hey, have a good night,
Have a
kiss
good
on
night,
the
get out of
forehead?
here, beat it.
It's a little swaggy.
Pre-Uber, you know what I mean? Like, go wait for a cab outside.
Also, you'd imagine Jeter's like looking at these other players like, oh, you're the top in the league. I once ran face forward into a row of seats and got stitches. All right,
I did that weird turnaround jump thing and
the
throw. like-
unnecessary jump throw.
Yeah,
yes, I love
total
it.
unnecessary
I
jump
love
throw.
it.
I
The
love it.
Jumpman logo.
Do you think his confidence has been shaken because Didi Gregorius is the best Yankee shortstop of this decade?
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I mean,
He's
he
out here.
is.
You're not
He's
allowed to
doing
say
his
this
thing.
decade.
It's things. There's certain things we know are true, but you can't say them out loud.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that Didi Gregorius is better than the last 5 years of Derek Jeter.
Who's this Bill Simmons guy?
I mean, to be fair, Derek Jeter played until, how old is Derek Jeter now? 49? Like, he played
he
until
played
like
till
his
he was, like,
knees
40.
dissolved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But wait, are we gonna do the New York sports fan thing and say Derek Jeter is the best? He's a better shortstop because of his rings.
Oh,
You
I
could
like
do
that.
You could do that.
rings.
Do that.
You could take that
Didi
route.
could be
with a
great,
Z
but if
or
Didi
rings
don't get a
with S?
ring-
Rings.
Rings.
That's
yeah.
right. Unfortunately, that's like Kobe's best argument, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that
I've
argument on
got 5
Twitter all
rings.
the time.
Rings
Yeah,
with a
he's got
Z.
rings. He's got
I
rings.
got all these rings.
But then, like, you got the Michael Jordan, LeBron conversation, and then people always kind of like throw Kobe in there. You know what I mean? And then it's just kind of
drives
like
me crazy.
Yeah,
It's kind of, but it's either Kobe or Kobe fans that throw him. Like no one just casually like, yo, what about Kobe?
What about Kobe though?
Kobe's like the J. Cole of the NBA. Like you just mind your business. Someone's like, what about Kobe?
What about Kobe though?
You don't like the lyrics?
He no features. You
like,
know what I'm
whoa,
saying?
That
He's
Kobe
real.
thing, it's
His
the most-
game goes over your head. You don't understand it.
Right. It's the most unique thing that's happened with basketball in the last like 2 decades.
Yeah.
The Kobe fans, it was post-trial,
Mm-hmm.
and Kobe was just taking an incredible amount of heat
Yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there was like this galvanizing force of like Laker fans and Kobe fans
Yep.
were just like, no. And they just started, that was it.
Yeah.
It was like us against them. It was really kind of amazing to watch.
They go hard.
If you
bro.
think about
They
it, like
go
how
as
many
hard as anyone.
Like, I think the only stands that can defeat Kobe stands are Beyonce stands. Like, if that Stan Army had a face-off,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
it would end social media.
definitely.
Like if they dated and
No,
broke
Kobe.
up.
Beyonce fans are worse than Kobe fans. Don't play with us.
Well, there's more of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're more numerous.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
but-
like Kobe's
But
short
Kobe
film.
fans will didn't that guy drive to Temecula?
Temecula to
whatever,
fight the guy over
somebody?
Twitter over
Kobe.
on Thanksgiving,
On
on Christmas Day or
Thanksgiving.
something like that. Left
Kobe's
his family.
fans got him an Oscar.
That is wild.
That thing was not good.
How many other players do you
What
think
the
could
hell happened?
How many other players do you think
What
could
was that?
recover from what Kobe, like the trial and all that stuff? And just Kobe right now, he's pretty, unless, like we bring up Kobe, the first thing people don't bring up is the trial or any of that stuff.
Nah. Rings, bro, championships. See, he's a
Especially like in
legend.
this climate.
The GOAT.
especially.
And then his last game ever of all time, which is going up against the Warriors, possibly, shattering the record of wins. And everybody's watching Kobe. Old Kobe dropped 60 on like 20% shooting. You know what I mean? And like everybody in LA is there, Snoop Dogg, Kanye, Jack Nicholson, they're all group hugging and like jerking each
It was
other
a
off.
moment.
Like,
It was a
It was
moment.
nuts. It was nuts. It was
I
like a
like that
moment.
that he had 2 retired numbers. It was classic Kobe.
that's Kobe.
Yeah, you
That's
have to-
Kobe.
come
That's
on,
the
that's
mom.
Kobe.
8 and 24. I like it.
Bill, you
he's
don't
so over the
understand.
top.
It's because 8 times 3 is
Yeah.
24.
Yeah,
you
sure.
understand? And then
Okay.
you add 2 more. That's the amount of rings I have.
Rings.
Mamba out.
Mamba.
He's doing this thing now for ESPN where he breaks down games.
Is he good at it? I haven't seen it yet. Because I know A-Rod, as much as you will hate A-Rod, he
A-Rod-
is an excellent analyst.
He was good on the
Very
studio
good.
show. I
He's
agree.
good.
And he's son Big Papi too. He put
Kobe-
the Yankee jacket over Big Papi. I know that hurt your heart.
These Kobe things are like he doesn't. I didn't appreciate that. these Kobe things, it's like he doesn't know this already existed on the internet where he's I'm going to break down plays and explain to people what happens. And he's like, watch this.
So
this guy's going to set a screen. Now watch this guy over here. He's going to come over and then he uses the screen. I'm like, yeah, we all have the internet.
Kenny's been doing this for a while.
I can find 100 fake coaches on YouTube who do this constantly. What are you doing?
Kobe.
It's pretty interesting. He's pretty hilarious, though.
I have a theory about him, though. I think the fact that he was like raised abroad and like speaks multiple languages and is like knows about soccer and stuff like that makes him more likable, I guess, like internationally.
He's more worldly.
Yeah, he's more worldly. He's so cultured. Kobe's so cultured. And then he had a rap album.
Yeah, we don't mention that, but yeah. I'm sure he doesn't want to.
I just read the Tiger Woods book.
I think you were gonna say I just got the Tiger Woods rap album. I was like, I need to hear that right now.
The Tiger Woods definitely would never have a rap album.
Hopefully,
the Tiger Woods book was.
Is it a tell-all book?
I gotta say, it's really worth reading.
Does he go into everything?
My last podcast did about it. It basically just puts together all the stuff that happened, and it's you leave it going, wow, man.
Wow. How do you feel about him after reading it? Did it change your opinion on him?
It made me wonder why I liked him so much. He doesn't come off well.
He seemed very likable before the breakdown and everything. You were just like, wow, he's a gung ho player. Of course, we were going for him. He's black. I mean, let's keep it funky. But
I'm actually Eurasian.
I'm Caucasian.
I'm Eurasian.
Calabasian.
Calabasian.
I was like, is that next to Calabasas?
I think he made that. It's Calabasas.
I was like, what is that?
Calabasas adjacent.
I'm like, that's a salad and chopped, my guy. That's not a national ethnicity.
Did you guys get into the Tiger thing when he came back?
Not
really,
because I don't know, because I don't follow golf.
Yeah, I don't really follow golf that much either. But when he did come in the game, I have an uncle by marriage who is super into golf, and he's like, Tiger, man. He's like, he's the future of golf. This was like late '90s.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's the future of golf. Power, grace, finesse, can do everything on the course. Blah 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 blah. So then I'm like, all right, maybe I'll watch this guy. And then I was like, oh shit, golf is really boring to watch.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot. It was incredibly boring to watch people play golf.
It makes baseball look like
the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, like WrestleMania.
Who, in your opinion, who has like the power seat right now with athletes for coolness, talent, respect from the outside world, just everything? Who's like the number one guy right now?
Michael Beasley.
Other than Michael Beasley.
I couldn't even joke with that with a straight face. I said Michael Beasley. Who got it right now?
I was going to say LeBron, but like LeBron has moments of like dad corniness. You know what I mean? Like where it's just like, bro, like
it's endearing though. It's endearing because he has kids. He's a dad. So like someone like me, I look at him, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
It's definitely someone who's a dad in the NBA, either him or Steph.
Yeah,
because you have to have that well-rounded image. Steph Curry's wife sells cutlery. Like, I didn't even know that.
Right.
Like,
as a cooking show.
Listen, you got to have the full circle. I think the days of like the bad basketball player out in the club chasing women, like people aren't really going for that. Like, look at Tristan Thompson. Like back in the day, people were like, "Yo, my man's out here.
Yo, he's out here."
Now everyone's like, "How dare he?
How he's despicable.
How dare he cheat on a Kardashian?
That Canadian." Is he Canadian?
He's Jamaican Canadian.
How dare he betray us, the nice Kardashian?
Yeah, the nice family. That's such a righteous, noble family.
They don't cheat on people in the Kardashians.
The whole Kardashian family unfollowed him after the scandal came out, and I was like, did that hurt? Like,
did he care?
Did they eventually call each other like, Khloe, unfollow him now.
Unfollow him right now and block him.
It is funny when you make fun of how whoever dates a Kardashian, their career immediately falls apart.
Immediately.
Then there's this counter thing on online where you go, well, why do you have to victim shame the Kardashians? It's like, I'm just pointing out that every person they date immediately gets worse at their job.
If P, then Q.
10 straight examples now of this. Like, this is not good.
There's so many examples of it. And then when they are out of the Kardashian phase, they become James Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and they elevate their game to the next level. But
are the Kardashians the Knicks?
Yo.
Oh.
Wow. Do you
think
come
about
to the
it. You come to the
Kardashians,
Knicks.
then you leave.
Think about Melo.
You leave, you become better.
No. Melo stayed in the Kardashians too long.
Poor Melo.
I love you, Melo.
I love you. I miss Melo. I'm not gonna lie.
Melo.
Have you quit on Melo yet?
Never.
I'll never quit Melo.
I'll never quit on Melo, but it's just weird now because I see him on other teams. I'm like, I just want you to get a ring. I don't really care about the rest of the team, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I'm shocked by how ineffective he is for them. All he does is shoot wide open threes, and he misses like almost all of them.
I don't understand. He's not like, it's wild because he's supposed to be the second guy or like have a really, really, really good point guard.
Yeah.
Like, but him as the guy, like I remember when they first traded him, or when he first came to the Knicks, they were like, "Yo, they're gonna run into Mari Stoudemire, Melo pick and roll. It's gonna be unstoppable." I was like,
That sounds awful.
I was like, come
Sell
on.
me these Knick dreams.
I was like, bro, I was like, yo, pass me another 20 of Knicks Coke. Like, give me a break. Like,
Remember when Amari stopped? What did he do? 5 games with at least 30 points?
Yeah.
We was about to build him a statue in front of MSG.
MVP.
He had he was the MVP in the league after 45 games.
Yeah.
And then his knees completely fell apart.
Made
Yeah.
from Polio string cheese. Just
And tell me if this is sports is your life.
Yeah.
2012, the Knicks would have won the NBA championship were it not for Roy Hibbert number one, Roy Hibbert blocking that Melo dunk. And
Were you talking about 13?
was that 13?
Yeah. The good Knicks team that year.
Yeah,
the year
the
when they
last time the Knicks
50,
really
I
went
think
to
the
play.
55, I think it was like 56 wins.
the Mike Woodson team with
You lost
JR.
that-
and them. We lost that series though. We
You
didn't
lost
lose
that
one
series
game.
because for whatever reason, Roy Hibbert destroyed
Destroyed us.
Tyson
Roy
Chandler.
Hibbert turned into Shaquille O'Neal in 98.
Unbelievable.
For 4 games, and then became like I remember waking because at the time I was staying home with my kid. I took time off work to stay home with my kid, and we would wake up in the morning and watch like all the sports talk shows or whatever, and like we're watching like First Take or whatever, and everybody's saying like, "Oh, you know, Roy Hibbert is one of the best big men in the league," and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And then after that series, he became just like,
It's
Well,
a little like
was it the
Rudy
Gatorade
Gobert
challenge?
right now, where
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert he changes the game on defense.
yeah,
But
then
don't
he
forget,
was-
J.R. Smith got the foul on Jason Terry
yeah.
in the Boston series and lost all his powers for some reason when he got suspended and came back and just forgot how to shoot. So that also was a big part of that loss.
You know how if you check a stock, it has the lines of how it did during the week.
Mm-hmm.
If you did J.R. Smith's thing for that, for his career, it would just be like,
Oh,
it would
you
look
would-
like a lie detector.
J.R. Smith is Bitcoin.
It would be
Like,
all
just
over the
all
place.
over the place.
It's like,
really
what's
is.
J.R. Smith's stock today? Oh, it's 0.
Zero.
What?
Tomorrow's
What?
up. It's
Tomorrow's
8,000.
110.
Wow, it's up 5,000%.
I was watching game 2 against the Pacers, and he decided to play defense for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And he like stole the ball in the backcourt from Oladipo and did all the stuff. And like he clearly can do it
He
sometimes.
just doesn't feel the need to always do
It's
it.
like I don't have to. Like I'm
He's-
getting paid.
We need another Hall of Fame for guys like him and
Yeah,
these
kinda
white
like that-
chocolate
the
and
kinda
Rasheed,
tried.
these enigmatic, super talented guys who never got there, but we kind of love them anyway.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, that's my man.
Have Gilbert Arenas out in front.
Because the great thing with JR, they come back from 3-1 in the 16 finals. And you kind of want JR in those games,
Yeah.
right? Like he's not going to be afraid. You
Yep.
can win a game 7 on the road if he's out there.
He's gonna
Yeah.
shoot it from 50 feet out.
He's
with
gonna
3
take
seconds
some
left.
shots and you're gonna be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
There's 28 seconds on the shot clock. Why are you shooting a 3? Like, you know?
JR shoots it from out of bounds. Like,
Whoa, incredible.
It went in. Just see the refs like, does it?
J.R.
the clock
Smith
didn't even
unties
start.
his shoes and puts his warm-up suit back on. This is a weird strategy.
He's amazing.
He's a good player.
I asked somebody the other day, I was talking to a fan who's a Knicks fan who's a friend. And we were saying, how many franchises, if you have coaches, players, and future draft picks, how many franchises would trade places with the Knicks?
How many franchises?
So basically, like, would the Nets take everything they had and be like, we'd
become the
rather
Knicks?
have what all the Knicks
right.
assets?
I
over what
definitely
we
think the
have?
Nets.
I think the Nets would.
For sure.
The 3 we came up with were the Nets, the Pistons, because
the Pistons are.
your cap situation's better.
Yeah.
And the Charlotte Hornets, we thought maybe.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I would jump out the window and say Atlanta because it's like they're so middling.
But Atlanta's got a top 3 pick,
oh yeah.
cap
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Like there's some hope. The Knicks have Porzingis recovered from knee surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Dolan come out yesterday and say Chris Stapps is not coming back next season?
At all?
No.
That's what it said on Twitter, and I was like, "How does Dolan know? Did
How
Dolan
does
just say
Dolan-
you can't come back?
Is
or-
Dolan the doctor?
Is it
Like,
doctor?
he's in there with,
Dr.
like-
Dolan. Oh, that's not looking good,
It's
pally.
not looking good. It just put two
I can see
Band-Aids.
James Dolan dressing up as a doctor to save money instead of hiring an actual Knicks doctor.
One more break to talk about my buddies at FrameBridge. They make it super easy and affordable to custom frame your favorite things, from art prints and posters to the photos on your phone. I can't think of a better friend on Mother's Day. Yeah, Mother's Day is coming up. Go to framebridge.com, upload your photo from your computer or directly from your Instagram feed for them to print. If it's a physical item like ticket stubs, art prints, or posters, they'll provide secure prepaid packaging so you can mail it in for free. The expert team at FrameBridge custom frames your item in days, delivers your finished, ready-to-hang piece directly to your door instead of the hundreds you'd pay at a framing store. Their prices start at $39. All shipping is free. They have thousands of 5-star reviews. They even offer a happiness guarantee. If you aren't 100% satisfied with your order, they will make it right. You've probably seen, I post on Instagram. I hope you're following me on Instagram. I'm the best over 45 follow on Instagram. Oh, yeah. It's me and Nas. Is Nas over 45? Yeah, me and Nas are the two best over 45 follows on Instagram. And I'll post photos of me and the guests, and you'll see these beautiful frame pictures over my shoulder. Framebridge did everything in my office, including the Bruce Springsteen Born to Run poster that is... Nas is 44. My bad. Nas. My bad. We're the best over 44 and over follows on Instagram. Anyway, order a custom gift for any mom in your life right from your phone. You can even do it. Go to framebridge.com, use promo code BS to save an additional 15% off your first order. Framebridge.com, promo code BS. It's amazing how they always miss the guy they should have taken. Like this year was Donovan Mitchell, who they clearly
who they could have had.
Now, if we knew then what we know now, it would have been an amazing pick.
I'm still mad about Jordan Hill, bro.
That he was one pick after Steph, right?
Yeah. I wonder if he's still even in the league.
But you have to also think about this. If the Knicks had gotten Steph, would Steph be the Steph he is today?
No, his ankles would have fallen apart. He probably had
the Knicks would have done something stupid with him, or
he'd probably be working on your show.
Yeah.
Damn.
I keep saying, I was like, the Knicks.
He's got a mad leg cast. He's like, all right, we're speeding.
Stop. Okay, all right.
And it's our PA, Steph Curry. Hey, Steph, tell him about that time you played in the NBA for 6 months.
No, it's funny because people were saying, like, you know, when Derrick Rose got hurt the first time or whatever, and they were talking about, it was trade talks, trade rumors. We're doing the podcast, and I was like, the Knicks are going to get Derrick Rose.
Oh, everyone
they're going to
knew
get Derrick Rose in like 4 years.
Everybody knew that.
They're going to get Derrick Rose in 4 years, and every ligament in his body has deteriorated, and that's exactly what happened.
Every time one of your ligaments tears, you get more attracted to the Knicks.
Yeah. It's funny how the Knicks never get the right lottery pick, but they've somehow had almost all of the lottery picks have passed through the Knicks at some point.
Yeah,
like I think Derrick Rose and Beasley were 1-2 in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had said then 10 years ago, these guys are going to be in the Knicks, or 10 years from now, these guys are both going to be in the Knicks, you'd be like, wow,
championship.
That's amazing.
Yo,
what happened?
Then you go to Beasley's house and you're like, maybe not.
You guys love Beasley though.
Yeah, I love him. That's why, because he reminds us of ourselves. Yeah. Like if we were playing basketball, I feel like Michael Beasley.
Has he come on your show?
Not yet, but it's weird because the Knicks, their practice is at the same time as when we film. I don't understand why that's keeping them from coming on right now, but we're working on it. All the Knicks want to come. A lot of New York sports people want to come on our show because they love it. Chris Stapps loves our show, so we're definitely trying to have these people through.
Yeah, walk me through that. So since the last time I saw your show has taken off, and now it seems like it's at even a better place.
Yeah.
Oh, so are people hitting you up saying I want to come on?
Oh,
yeah. Before it was like you could tell, like the first I want to say month of the show, it's like people we know that we can call from our phones and be like, hey, do you want to come and do the show? And they would be like, yeah, no doubt, of course.
Then we post on Instagram, we're like, tonight's guest, and everyone's like, who is this? What I mean? And now it's like, even last night, I'll run into a celebrity and they're just like, was just watching your show, bro. Got to get on it. And I'm like, you got to contact the booker. And then people getting mad at the booker, like, we're booked for a couple like weeks.
You're like, come on, Stan. You got to
I need to get on it now.
We let you on.
We randomly ran into Too Short after like some party, and he was like, hey, man, I watch y'all show every night, man. I got to come up there, y'all. I got to come fuck with y'all, man. For real, I watch the show every night. And I was like, yo, you're Too Short.
Like CeCe was telling us, like all the Yankees watch it. They're probably not even practicing.
He's texting me like, yo, Tracy Morgan's wild. Like, yo, it's out of control. It's nuts. Who's the other guy?
No, it's the reach is wild. Like even you had KD on here, and KD knows about us. Like that was like.
You've had a couple guests I was like secretly a little bit jealous of.
Like
recently.
Who?
You had Iman Shumpert.
Well, see, didn't you just have Seth Rogen on?
Yeah, for the second time.
Twice. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's the homie.
Yeah.
No, you had another one. And I was like, man, okay.
Was it Rachel Maddow?
Because what happens is, I think once the show hits a certain thing, and it's happened with this podcast too to some degree, but like all the people in the public relations areas, they start making their lists. Like, oh, we've got a movie coming out.
Gotta do this one. Gotta do that one.
It'll be really good to go on this, and it seems like you guys are now on that list.
It's funny though because people put us on that list, and they come in like these are the talking points, and it's like,
right? No, we don't play that.
That's not what we're doing.
Then we get on the show, and I'm like, how do you feel about analingus?
Yeah. You out here eating butt.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
They're
you know,
like,
like, so it's very iffy for a politician because it's just like,
yes,
if you can't hang with us, you could torpedo your whole campaign there.
Yeah,
like if you come off looking real stiff or you're not able to like laugh at a joke about yourself. So I kind of it seems because we had Kristin Gillibrand,
and it's just Espaillat, Eric Holder,
and we were just in GQ. They mentioned that in an article about her that she came on our show. So other politicians are like, oh, maybe I need to come here, and I'm like, fam, watch the show first. Watch the show. Watch
several episodes first, and then come. And maybe listen to the podcast first.
Have you had somebody end up on the show that clearly knew nothing about the show and nothing about what was going to happen, and you kind of had to walk them through it?
Usually what happens is people sit in the other room and they watch the first part of the show, so they get a feel for it, and they're just like, oh, okay. If you just come in cold and you're just like, you're just going to be like, what's going on? Yeah. Where's the questions? Why are we sitting so close together?
Because Paula Patton came and was a guest, and she was kind of like in that back room that he's talking about, and she was watching as we're taping, and like I thought she was just going to be like, I'm Hollywood actress, like blah, blah, blah. I have no frame of reference for her. And she came in and she was mad fun.
Yeah, she was like, oh, I love this interview because it's not like regular interviews. I'm not doing a press junket. You guys are mad cool. You guys are not trying to hit me with gotcha questions. It's like, because it doesn't make any, like, you want people to feel comfortable when they come on the show. You want them to be able, like, yo, these are my guys. They're not going to put me in it. If there's a controversial thing going in your life, we'll talk about it ahead of time. I'll be like, fam, if you don't want to talk about this, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to get messy, whatever. No gotcha stuff. We're not setting people up for viral vids so they go, they traffic it like a certain club.
Bill Simmons, talks about shitting on glass table. Like, no, that'll never happen.
I would. If you wanted me to.
Bill Simmons
I don't do it anymore.
Bill Simmons has to come back on the show and do a shot-for-shot remake of the Tracy Morgan interview. I want to see that.
Oh, that'd be unbelievable.
I want to see that.
Was that your number one interview so far, Tracy Morgan?
Well,
it wasn't really an interview. It was kind of like, hey, we're on screen with Tracy Morgan. Take it away, Tracy Morgan.
Take it away, Tracy Morgan. And it was wild. I mean, to me, like, I was kind of like, I don't, like, we had Diddy on, we had Whoopi Goldberg on, we had Eric fucking Holder on, and he took my chain and ran away with it. But like, Tracy Morgan to me was different because like I went to the same high school he went to. We lived around the same area. Like I used to see him a lot in the Bronx, and like he had a Jaguar with spinning rims. Yeah. And to a teenage kid, it's like, yo, you got a Jag with spinning rims, yo, that's crazy. Like I aspire to be you. And he's never not changed. Been Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. And we've always grown up watching his comedy and stuff. And then after the accident with the Walmart truck, now just to hear him, like he's still Tracy Morgan, but every now and then he'll have that moment where he's like, yo, I almost died.
Yeah.
I lost my best friend. And like you can see it in the interview, like those moments come and he's just like, he's just giving you words of advice like, yo, don't waste your life. Life is short. But then he goes back to like the old Tracy Morgan. But every couple of moments, the fact that he almost died in that accident, he lost his best friend, come back. And you're just like, damn. Because he even said, he was like, I'd give this all up to get my best friend back. And we were just like, that's heavy.
I was like, shit.
We had Kimmel launched in 2003, January. And when I was writing for it, and he would always tell me like, Tracy's the funniest guy. Like out of everyone, he's just force of nature funny. So we had this green room and it was like kind of a scene the first year. And, people go, it was in the bottom and it was almost like a bar underneath the show. And it was a little out of control. And like the third or fourth night, Tracy Morgan was there. He wasn't even on the show. And, at some point, I just looked over and he had no shirt on. He was just standing on a table and he's just kind of dancing, holding two drinks. And I was like, this is exactly what I thought would happen when I moved there. A shirtless Tracy Morgan.
You know how disappointed you are if you hang with Tracy Morgan, his shirt doesn't come off?
No.
Like, you don't have a good time.
Like, he's on brand all the time. I don't know how he does it.
And he's one of those people, he doesn't have to like turn it on. Like he comes and it's Tracy Morgan 24/7.
Yeah, I'm always jealous of those people.
Yeah, but it's you know what,
I can't tell. You guys might be like that though.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was gonna say like that's why I admire him so much and I look up to him so much is because he's not. It's like you use the term on brand. Like he is Tracy Morgan.
Right.
Like there is no brand.
Right.
Like his brand is like I'm me. Like take it or leave it. You know what I mean? And people happen to
kind of like that, but we know when to like calm down. Like we're not just gonna come in here and start tagging on the walls and kicking stuff over. Like fuck you, Bill Simmons. Like that. That's kind of exhausting.
I might come in and tag on the wall.
And then also sometimes like being in comedy, sometimes you see people and they're like that, and you're just like, there's something wrong there. Like, you shouldn't be funny all the time like that.
That was the Robin Williams.
The Robin
conundrum.
Williams. Growing up, I always saw that.
Always on all the time.
Growing up, I always used to like feel so bad for Robin Williams because I was like, that's not how it works. I was like, no. I was like, he's super funny, but he's not him. You know what I mean?
Like, I think that's but the to me the difference between those two guys is like Tracy Morgan is like, I'm Tracy Morgan from Brooklyn and the Bronx. And Robin Williams was like, would come into this character and then go into this character and then go into this character and then go into this character. Yeah. And it's just so much like, but
they were both they're both using comedy to get through something. Because Robin Williams was suffering from depression and all types of stuff.
Right.
And so, you know, like all these characters you're doing, like he's just trying to keep you laughing and trying to keep himself laughing. And you see it and you're like, damn, what's he going? Like it wasn't apparent until he died. A lot of people didn't see that. Like,
but he would never get serious like this because he would last for 2 seconds.
Exactly.
And then he would look over there
and be like, oh, who's that?
Like, I'm going to make this guy laugh.
Oh,
and
look, there's a black fire over there. Oh, like you're like, oh, wow. That's
so low-key.
Yeah, I think a lot about the genuine versus real thing. That's one of the reasons I've been so fascinated with doing the podcast with Durant, because we've done like these 5 podcasts. And that's who he is. Like there's no public Kevin Durant, there's no private Durant. He's just like that all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why he likes that format. And for better and worse, like it's probably kind of crazy that we do these things and he just says anything. Nobody else does that.
What's funny is when we first were coming up, and we rag on everyone. We used to call Kevin Durant Swaggerless McGee because we were just like, he's so boring.
He's got zero swag.
He's not like hanging out in the NBA or whatever.
Yeah, because if you think of all the leagues, like the NBA is the coolest league
By far.
You know
now, especially recently, since he joined the Warriors and like his persona, I'm just like, oh wow. Like you said, that's just Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is not a guy with like 60 gold chains and just doing the donut in the Martial, you know, like in the Maserati or anything.
He puts a lot of thought in this stuff.
7'5".
Yeah.
I get the feeling from a lot of these guys that they make decisions, and I don't think he's like this, but they make decisions based on how does this look to the outside
Exactly.
world.
Right.
And it's not really an issue with LeBron because I think LeBron's amazing. And the fact that he came from where he came from and had all that shit thrown at him from age 17 on and the way he's handled it, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
But I always do feel like there's calculations with him at all times.
Yeah.
Especially how he uses that uninterrupted thing and how he uses his social media. And
like how he takes little breaks for playoffs and stuff.
This will be the right thing for me to do now.
Right.
And I should handle it this way because this was, but I'd love to know what the real LeBron's like. I don't think like we know. I'm sure there's this other LeBron
knows about it, but
with
we'll
his
never.
buddy. Yeah, his inner circles. That's the LeBron. We don't know what that guy's like.
I
probably
low-key
never
think
gonna
LeBron
find.
is like hood as shit on the low. Like he's super hood. Like I feel like the real LeBron is not necessarily not what he presents to us, but that's a part of what he presents to us. But the real actual core LeBron is super duper hood. Like I could see it. I could feel it. Like I feel
Jordan was. You'd always heard that Jordan had this other side.
Oh yeah.
We
always saw public Jordan.
Yeah, you know the Chameleon story?
I wrote that was the thing I wrote about in my book, just randomly being next to him when he was playing Boo-Ray with a couple of his buddies, and he turned into Jordan. He's like, MFing everybody and just doing the bully thing and laughing and cracking jokes. He had a cigar, and I'm like, oh, that's you. That's who you are.
Jordan.
So I wonder who LeBron's version of that is.
But like I said, LeBron is so calculating. I don't think there will never be a camera around when that real LeBron comes out.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna have that weird moment of LeBron wilding out in the club.
You think he's calculating, or you think he's just careful?
Or
maybe it's both.
Both, a little bit of both. 'Cause to get to as far as he's gotten, you can't be sloppy. You have to know exactly every move you make. And like I think probably everything he's done since that announcement with the Flames and everything, I don't think that worked out exactly the way he wanted it to. Yeah. And ever since then, he's just been playing chess. Like everything, he's measuring the pros and cons. Should I do this? Should I sign with Kia? Like, think about it. Like, you signing with Kia? Like, who signs with Kia? No one. Kias are not cool. He signs with Kia. He is when you think LeBron, you think of
Sprite is my favorite one lately for LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, you're not drinking Sprite.
He clearly, like, which soda should I go with? And he weighs all the choices.
And he's been with Sprite for a while.
Yeah.
And
he has this new campaign now with the beer,
pitcher,
the pitching, and it feels like he's more Spritey lately.
Yeah.
But, I mean, or we could be totally wrong, and he's just like boring LeBron dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I think he's more.
He seems fun.
I bet he's more competitive and more fun. Like, I bet he'd be fun to go to a casino with if nobody knew who he was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was watching some show where he was playing cards with somebody. I think it's his show, the Survivor's Remorse show.
Oh, yeah.
And they were playing cards, and he was just there, like, acting. He's a pretty good actor, by the way.
He is a good actor. He was good in Trainwreck.
I was really surprised. Yeah, I know. We had John Cena on, and we were like, "Yo, you were great in Trainwreck," and he was like, "No, LeBron is actually much better than me in Trainwreck." I was like, "Wow, okay."
That was you, because I did not see Trainwreck.
Also, your hands are massive. I had the screener.
Yeah.
What do your Russell Westbrook thoughts?
Russell
Westbrook, he's a great player. Like, he's amazing. He doesn't get mentioned enough. I don't think. Well, I mean, he's pretty much mentioned, but I mean, like, for what he's pulling off, that really should be like the breaking story every night.
Would you want to play with him?
Absolutely. Depending.
You said play with him?
play with him, like be on his team.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just keep passing the ball to him.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I'll be like, yo, here.
Yo, Russ.
Russ, get open. Yo,
Russ.
You triple team it on that.
Yo, Russ, yeah. Yo, Russ, it's your shot. It's your shot, big boy.
Yeah. He's like, yo, you open for the corner 3. I'm like, no, that's you. Take it to the rack.
I'm like, yo, Russ, bring it up the court. Give it to me. I'll pass it back.
Give me the New York power rankings now that Francesa's out of the way.
Oof.
What happens
There is
now?
no. There's
What
a
happens
vacuum.
in New York?
There's a
No, there is
vacuum.
none. Without the
Is it
Pope, we
like
got
when Michael
nothing.
Corleone died? Like we couldn't make Godfather
Who-
4?
You know what? Everyone has jokes on Francesa. This season without Francesa is just painful.
No kidding. I've had him on my podcast like
Yes.
7 times.
Damn. After that Red Sox Yankee fight,
You want to hear Francesa?
you wanna
you want to hear
Disgusting.
You want to hear Francesa? You want to hear him at that opening salvo from 1 p.m. to 1:20.
Yeah.
He just goes on a rant and doesn't even do a WFAN break. And you want to hear him bring it back up at 4 o'clock.
Gutless smooth by the Giants.
They
The
just have,
Benchy line.
Yeah, we got Sweeney on. Like, oh, what do you think? What's going on with that one? And he's just like, it's that boy. You can't even understand him because he's so mad.
He picked a bad year to leave because
A
like this
terrible
Yankees-Red
year.
Sox thing would have been great.
Oh man,
the Mets are good again. He hates
the Giants turnover.
Giants with the second pick.
Oh,
whole bunch of
He
stuff-
has to
whole
come
bunch
back.
of fun
He
stuff.
doesn't miss it.
He's doing something. He's
gonna
up to
get
something.
something.
He's
He's
going to
gonna-
announce something soon.
Next Netflix is gonna give him $100 million.
It'll be something great.
I still can't believe he retired because that was just like that was such a New York icon.
Yeah.
Like when it was Mike and the Mad Dog. Like even then I would listen because I used to work from home and it would come on like DirecTV on the Yes Network. So you just leave your TV on in the background for 5 hours of just yelling about stuff. People calling in first time, long time. But now there's no Mike, and we always make jokes about like he didn't always have the best stats or the best views.
Yeah.
But he was entertaining. He was very entertaining.
We did a podcast 2 weeks ago. We started talking about whether the Sixers were too young to make the finals. So my case was like,
When did the Sixers? Can I ask you when did
when
the
you're ready,
Sixers
you're
begin?
ready. They're fucking talented.
Yeah.
Like when did this happen? Like
It happened in the last 3 months. And Ben Simmons went to another level, and it's like they might be ready.
What was Mike's
So
stance
I
on
was
that?
saying, this has happened. It happened with the 86 Rockets, happened with the 95 Magic, 77 Blazers. He's like, no. Bill Walton was 4 years college. And then he's like, and you remember in round 1, if Lionel Hollins didn't make that jumper in the game 3 and it was just on the spot, was
Yeah.
ready to talk 77
See?
Blazers. He said all in on a 77 Blazers conversation.
okay.
I didn't even know we were going to have.
I feel like sports talk radio should be like one of those jobs that you have to die to quit.
Yes.
Like you can't retire.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Like you have to like be able to not speak anymore to quit that job.
Think about it. You're just that Stu Leonard's buying like some cheese or whatever, and Mike Francesa next to you.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, Mike, how you doing? And he's like, yeah, remember '96?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, remember the pitching change in the 4th game?
Who caught that last out?
Yeah, you don't remember, huh? Get out of my way,
Charlie
piece of
Hayes,
garbage.
beat
Yeah.
it.
He can't-
Useless sports facts is in your mind.
Who popped up to end the series? Huh? Klesko.
Yeah.
New York's always had kind of the guy for sports, and it seems like there's a vacuum now.
Yeah.
Who's
There's
the
a vacuum.
guy?
There's
They're trying to. I feel like they're trying to force that. What's his name? Don LaGreca guy.
the guy with Michael K.
Yeah. Like
The Don, yeah.
The Don. I don't know.
He seems, you know what? He seems like it seems very Francesa-like.
Ish.
A
It's
little
like Diet
too-
Francesa.
Yeah.
and like he's trying to.
It seems like some 28-year-old kid can just rise up the ranks and immediately own New York.
Nah.
I mean, you know what it is.
No,
You have
we
to
need-
be.
No, somebody with talent who comes in right now and the
Right now?
vacuum that's in could immediately have
They
traction.
could,
They
but
could,
you know,
but I
you have
feel
to
like-
know. You have to know your sports.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to-
yeah.
you have- and it's not even about knowing the current sports. You have to know, like,
you have to have the history, go
washed
backwards.
history of
Like you
sports.
said, like the
Yeah.
seven, like he was just on point with the 77 Blazers. Like you got to be,
You got to be ready for me to call up and be like, yeah, whatever happened to Kiyogawa?
yeah, huh?
Like if you don't get that reference, you cannot be an
That's
announcer
one
in
of
New
my
York.
biggest issues with the whole sports talk culture now. It's first of all, it's a lot of younger people, but it's also people that don't go backwards with stuff. So
Yeah.
you saw it in the playoffs where you would hear this argument, after the first 2 rounds of the NFL playoffs, because the NFL playoffs was pretty good. People were like, best playoffs ever?
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's like no.
let's
like,
go
relax.
backwards,
Let's go
actually.
back.
Here,
Relax.
I'll present some options. Can you even name 3 of the teams that were in? Well, give me 1990.
Yeah.
Name 3 teams that were but it's just people, they just want to do best ever, greatest ever. They just want to do it constantly.
Yeah,
And it was like first game in like 3 years. Like,
I
fam, have you ever
remember-
watched these sports before?
Yeah, I remember the '97 Super Bowl. I think it was Packers Patriots.
Yeah.
I was like, that was an amazing Super Bowl. I don't even know what the score was, but I just remember watching it. I think it's people. apply their own personal experiences with stuff and just throw it out there, and it's like the world is gonna agree with me. Like, nah, dude, like I didn't enjoy that Super Bowl. That shit was kind of lame.
You see with basketball now, there's a lot of basketball celebration now, especially in the media.
Yeah, I'm
like greatest ever, best playoffs ever.
Yeah, like we all love Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Like he's great, but like, can we stop talking about him for like 2 seconds? Like,
people love celebrating basketball players.
They love it.
I think it's crazy with how popular basketball is.
Yeah, because I remember the time it was not this popular.
When I was a kid, it was like I felt like I was kind of on an island with how much I love the NBA.
Yeah.
And now it's just like,
and now it's the opposite.
Who do you think? I want to ask you, who do you think made it that way? Because in my opinion, it was Allen Iverson. Everybody says Michael Jordan, but to me, it was Allen Iverson
that made basketball cool.
Cool. Like super, like extra cool. Like Michael Jordan made it cool-ish.
Well, Jordan made it cool for everybody.
Right.
Iverson was the first.
like hip hop.
Like, yo,
Cool
I'm wearing a white
Iverson-
tee to my press.
Because you're talking about all this stuff that's going on in the 90s concurrently, where you have hip hop's taking off.
Yep.
But first in the late 80s, but really in the early 90s becomes a mainstream. And that had to bleed over in basketball in some way, and it bled over. Iverson was kind of the proxy.
Yeah. Made David Stern change the rules.
I thought Kenny Anderson would have been another one, but when he got to the NBA, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
There's another universe where Kenny Anderson is the guy.
Yeah.
Where he goes to a different team. He has his head on straight. He's not drinking. And he's just like kind of how we feel about Ben Simmons right now.
I felt weird because we did like this charity event with
Pricewaterhouse Cooper.
So, yeah, shout out to them. And like, there was a bunch of, public school kids coming through saying hi to everybody. David Tyree was there. I'm sure you hate him.
I don't like him.
Lorraine Bracco was there. A bunch of celebrities.
It was a weird mix.
It was nice mix of people. And Kenny Anderson was there. And we see him and we're like, oh shit, Kenny Anderson.
Yeah.
And all these like 12, 13-year-old kids are like, do you play basketball?
This
And
one
he's
kid
like- and
goes,
then-
my dad would know who you are. And I was like,
exactly.
the disrespect.
I was just like, oh man. I was like,
wow.
bruh,
That
Kenny-
kills me.
But we're
That
meeting
Georgia
people-
Tech team was iconic.
You know what I'm saying? And then these kids are like, what do you do besides wear a blazer now?
They're like, give it up for Jesse Barfield. We're like, whoa! Everyone's like, are you a Jackson?
Jesse Barfield. That's the thing. The NBA now, all these guys make it. There's no cautionary tale stories. There's no guy who started doing coke or drinking too much or got paid too much too soon or whatever.
But is there a drug now that could kill you? Like, there's no cocaine equivalent.
You can't OD on weed. I've tried.
Also,
Like,
if you're
Well, I
still being
think-
activist, you're not playing basketball.
I
You're
don't
not
know.
on the court like,
I don't know if Molly's great for you.
Molly on basketball?
No, just like for
Yeah, but
Imagine if you're an NBA star and you take a Molly
on
and
Molly, like,
just gritting your teeth like, just pounding the ball to the
no, take the ball. It feels great. Touch it. Look, feel all the ripples
You're just
on
rubbing
it.
the net on your face.
Oh my
Like,
god,
yeah,
this is real
yeah.
leather. Oh my god, it feels so good against my skin.
The
24-second violation.
the closest would be, I guess, like no one shows up or anyone showing up drunk at games. No,
I mean, I feel like JR. I feel like
that's
JR
happened.
low key.
that's happened in the past,
That's-
but yeah,
Vin
Oh yeah, but Crazy Ryan.
Vin Baker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shut the
Vin
fuck up.
Baker had a lot of
Queensbridge.
issues with that.
yeah.
There's some bad ones. The 90s claimed a lot of dudes where it would just be like if you imagine the NBA now and you just crossed off 6 guys randomly.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, actually, Portland doesn't have CJ McCollum. And
Yeah.
you just went through and it would be like the league wouldn't be as fun. That's
No,
why the
yeah.
league's fun now because we have so much talent.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent, and it's people. They're more like. The players are more multidimensional. Like
Yeah.
I remember watching in the 90s and watching like a dude like Rick Smith could not play in the NBA today.
It
I
would
don't
be
think-
rough.
It would
Yeah.
be hard for him.
So
to
you
play
had, like,
with.
You have to be the
Every
right
team-
team, right coach.
You know what I
Every
mean?
team had that
Like-
one guy. You're the 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
You're the rebounder.
You're the rebounder. You're this guy. You're that guy. You're the guy that comes in and gives us 6 fouls a game. You know what I mean? Like,
And now it's like, no, I'm the 3-point shooter, rebounder, and the center.
yeah,
You're like,
I'm
how?
everything. So you guys like Kawhi Leonard, KD, like they do everything. LeBron, like they do literally everything on the court.
That's my big disappointment with Carmelo this year. Is I was really excited for old guy Carmelo. Like from ages 34 to 40, where he's just a spot up 3-point shooter, but
Yeah.
still thinks he's the best guy in the court.
Yeah.
And I really thought he was going to be great at that. And he's basically in that situation, OKC, and he's not good at it.
I don't know.
I'm not going to give up on him yet, though.
I'm not because I gave him. I call him like he has the Paul Pierce game where it's like, dude, you're out of shape.
Old man game.
Old
Yeah.
man game. The YMCA game.
Yeah, you got that step back jumper. You got like a little couple moves here and there.
Mark
You got
Jackson
the up and
hip
under
check kind of thing.
Yeah, the triple threat. You know what I mean? Set up and everything like that. Like the fundamental basketball. You know what I mean? Like he's good at that. I'm like, this dude could play till he's 40.
He's looked semi-washed this year. I'm worried.
Yeah.
I think he needs to. Here's what I want to read about him
They
or
run too
Dwayne
much.
Wade. I know. I want to read I'm in the best shape of my life. I worked out with the Navy SEALs this summer. Like
To find out,
we've
like-
never read that story about Dwayne Wade really ever this decade. Same thing with Carmelo. Like Dwayne Wade, he went to Miami and he actually got back in shape. There was a whole story about it. He showed up in Miami had the worst body fat in the team.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a professional athlete, dude.
And now he's like,
You're the fourth best guard of all time. Get in fucking shape.
It's
You're
what-
34.
what is he do? But he turned that shit around.
He
bro.
turned it fast.
He got money. He could do that. I think Melo's kind of like,
A-Rod
I
man
can,
up.
but I'm in OKC. Like,
I'd
what am I
rather
getting
just-
sexy for?
I mean, I would rather just chill and eat these Doritos, watch League
Lala's
Pass.
here. I got my hats. I'm good.
Last break to talk about my friends from SeatGeek, the best app for buying and selling tickets to sporting events, concerts, and more. Remember, for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase in any game or sporting event for NBA, NHL, baseball, whatever, you know what to do. Use promo code BS. They have been great sponsors for this podcast, really the entire time I've had it since I left ESPN. Such good friends that when Justin Timberlake had a concert at the Forum coming this weekend, timed perfectly right before my daughter's 13th birthday, I hit up my friends at SeatGeek and I said, can you help me? Can I get some JT tickets for my daughter? Guess what? My friends at SeatGeek came through. They got me a bunch of tickets for my daughter. It turned into a week-long drama as she tried to figure out who to invite. I'll tell you, 7th grade girl drama is the best. We figured it out. She's going to see JT. She loves JT. It's going to be great. It would not have happened without my friends from SeatGeek. That's the kind of people they are. That's why I keep telling you to check out SeatGeek. Remember, $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. All you have to do is download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. $20 off. Unbelievable. You go to a Marlins game and you pay minus $18 because I think those tickets are $2. Anyway, download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. Back to me and the Bodega Boys.
I really like Charlemagne. What is this you guys versus the Breakfast Club? Is this going to be all right?
It's not.
no.
It's not.
I don't want to be in the
guy.
crossfire on this
No,
because I love you guys.
no way.
If I have to pick, I'll pick.
It's not. Who you picking?
Well, I pick you guys because there's two of you.
Had to be sure. Nah, we're cool. We're cool with Charlamagne. We're cool with Angela Lee. We're
Bro,
cool with
Charlamagne
105.
lives in the town over from me. Like, we talk all the time.
Because Charlemagne's a good dude.
Yeah.
Charlamagne's good people.
Yeah.
Charlamagne, it was
All right.
because Charlamagne had us on Common Sense, which was a wonderful show on MTV2, and he made sure we had the C Block on there. And every week we had our little 5-minute segment, and people were just like, "You're terrible. Stop having him on." And Charlamagne was like, "Those are my guys."
No,
so
we'll keep
shout
him
out to
on.
Charlamagne.
And we
now
grew
we're
on
good. We'll
people.
be back on Breakfast Club one day
Yeah.
with security.
Can you give our listeners the 30-second Cliff Notes version of what happened with this
Okay, what happened was
imbroglio?
we went on to Breakfast Club. We were promoting our 5-borough tour, one show every night in every borough in New York City. Sold out. We killed
Great
it, by
idea.
the way.
Great
Killed
idea.
it. Thank you. And we go up there, and DJ Envy was upset because we made a joke about. He said it was a joke about his wife. If you actually watch the clip,
It wasn't.
It wasn't about his wife. And the way they played it on the show, they cut it off before the full joke was said. Because we said at the end, just kidding. We don't know, whatever. They did that. He knew it was a setup. He had to call Joe Button like weeks earlier and was like, wait, I got something for them when they come up there.
It's hilarious. It's like if Love and Hip Hop had no women in it. Because Joe Budden calls me on the phone. He says on his podcast, like,
He's like, yo, when they come up
got
there,
something for
he
y'all.
got something for you. We're just like, what?
What is it? So then he calls me. He's like, yo, it's about to go down. Like, y'all ready? And then I tell him, I'm like, yo, apparently Envy has something for us or whatever.
He mentions it to me. I don't even pay any mind.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. We're just gonna go do the Breakfast Club. It's mad early in the morning.
So
like,
we go, you know what? Nothing's weird. Before we even do the interview, he doesn't say anything to us, doesn't shake
Nothing.
our hand or whatever. But it's like, there's like 10 minutes in between. Like, we're getting mic'd up. It's no big
Yeah.
deal. So we get in there and he's like, morning, it's DJ Envy.
Welcome to the Breakfast Club. We got guests today. We got Dickhead and Pussy today.
I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
oh, okay. Now I see what's going on.
I see the energy.
And he was like,
He
apologize.
said we got dickhead and pussy.
Yeah, so I say on regular days, which is very childish. Also, I'm like, you can't get better names.
I was like, bro,
Call
there's no P in Mero.
You know, call me
Like,
Dickhead
Ken
and
Gay or
pussy.
something.
Like, my son wouldn't even do that. He's
Yeah.
10.
I'm like, who's writing this? My 2-year-old nephew? But
Like, it's crazy.
so that he's like, apologize to my wife, and we're just like, we was like, yo, we thought you could take a joke. We thought we was cool, but if you want, we apologized. And then he sat there mad for the 5 more minutes he sat in the interview, and then he walked out the interview.
And then Charlemagne, being Charlemagne, God bless him, he was like, yo, if you need 5 minutes outside, like you could do that. And I was like, yo, I got my Spanx on, I'm ready to go. And I'm
Yeah.
laughing the whole time.
We didn't know.
He's like, super quiet. Then he gets up and leaves. And then Charlemagne's like, oh my God, like, can we put the
So
video
dramatic.
camera on
So dramatic.
MV's
But
empty chair
because
now?
we have worked very hard to get to where we are in this industry, and we had a tour to promote, our media training kicked in.
Yep.
Continued the interview, very professional.
Yep.
That's great to hear.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You
can't
guys
let
are
people-
pros now.
You can't let people get. Listen, as I said on the show, I'm not going to mess up my bag because you're in your bag of feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a job to do and I get paid to do this job, and you want to be emotional, go do that on your coffee break.
So you're saying like 2 years ago, maybe that escalates?
Maybe not even for me. I don't know, because
You said 2 years. Oh, if this was 2 years previous.
You guys 2 years ago in this situation.
Oh my God!
wouldn't
We
have
probably
gone well?
been, like, not even no joke. We probably would have been in jail.
it depends on
My mother, because 2 years ago we were two different. We were straight from the Bronx, and it was never about going to Hollywood. We were
Yeah.
just doing the podcast for like Complex, and
Yeah.
even when we were doing it, we were just like, I don't think this podcast thing is gonna work out.
Right.
And we were still carrying box cutters at that time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like it would have been totally dependent on the conversation I would have had with my wife that morning.
think about
Yeah.
Like if it would have been positive, like I would have been like, okay.
think
Just,
about Dusty
who's,
Jesus and Dusty Mero, and we walk into a radio booth. And the first thing out of someone's mouth is someone calls me a dickhead and calls him a pussy. Ain't enough security. Ain't enough security to keep 2 people from the Bronx from jumping over that table. But
and I
God's
almost-
working on all of us, so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But like you said, media training. Because I almost took it to the next level and got up and sat in his chair and just was going to pretend to be him for the rest of the interview.
Yeah.
And then something
Yeah,
inside me was
that
like,
made it
"Well,
still
do this
worth
for
doing.
me."
But it's just
Yeah.
like that's kind of like baiting the bear. And
Yeah,
then
it's like,
the,
you know what?
The thing is, like now, the problem is we're forever going to be linked with DJ Envy. Like we'll
Nah,
go
I-
other places.
I don't think so.
No, anytime we do an interview now, it's like DJ Envy. We were in
How
JFK.
many months ago was it?
This was it. That
a
was
month ago? It wasn't that long ago.
Nah.
a month ago. But
much
when
is-
we go places,
No way. It'll fade in 6
no,
months.
because you have people who have never heard of us until this. So what happens is people on the
that's
street now,
interesting.
they go, fuck DJ Envy. But if he didn't pull that off, I wouldn't have seen you guys on TMZ. You guys are the funniest people I've ever seen. We get DMs like that every day. So shout out
that's
to him.
like expanded, the audience. Because there's very, like he said, a lot of NBA people listen to the Breakfast Club. So it's like, the Breakfast Club is like the pop culture radio show for like everybody who's young and like in the know or whatever.
It's,
So
you know,
it's
it's
like-
on mad
Listen,
channels.
I
It's
have
on
a
mad
500,000 view Breakfast Club appearance.
You know what I mean? So you already
know
know.
the gang.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like that
And
happened.
It
and
kind of
was
worked
like-
out because
yeah.
like Breakfast Club gets a lot of hits. And then TMZ found out about it.
Oh,
and
forget
TMZ,
it.
forget
Oh,
it. Then you just do the
yeah.
roof. And then TMZ was trying to interview us about it. And then like at JFK, there's people who don't know anything about us other than, yo, you the 2 guys that roasted DJ Envy.
Yeah.
Like they don't even know Desus and Mero. They're like, yo, y'all the 2 guys from Viceland that cooked DJ Envy. And I was like, you guys can't even learn our names, but I mean, listen, you
Y'all made
choose.
him leave his own show. Yo, that was crazy. I was like, yeah.
A girl yesterday at JFK was like, yo, it's the guys that cooked DJ Envy. And I was like, all right, I mean, we'll take a picture with you.
It sounds like you just handled your business and then he just left the show.
That's
Yeah.
literally all that happened.
Literally. And it was wild because it was like, bro, you do this 5 days a week?
Mm-hmm.
They do it 5 days a week. You come up here and you talk spicy about everybody and everything and everybody's relationship and everybody's life.
Yeah.
We say one
Tiny
very
thing.
tiny, innocuous thing, and it's just like he blew it out of proportion. That's what made me think like,
Well, you know what else
okay,
it
your
was?
wife told you
He was trying to
get
bully
in our
us.
ass. Yeah.
He definitely was trying to bully us because there have been other comedians that have said far worse things, far vile things directly to his face about his wife.
Yeah.
And he's never said anything, never questioned it. So he felt that we were pussy. He thought we were the 2 to press on the air. We're not the ones for you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Trey
I
Songz
didn't
said something-
realize this was
Trey
so
Songz said
complex.
something- Trey Songz said, I forgot what he said something that if anyone said that to you about your wife, you would rock their fucking jaw.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like basically, like I could take your girl or something like that. Like it doesn't matter
Nope.
how long you've been with her. Like I'm Trey Songz.
Yeah.
It's Mr.
Not
Studio
even,
Girl.
not even way worse than what we didn't even, what
like
we said was
literally
harmless.
there in the studio, in your face. Like you know what I mean? Like come on.
You know, it's like they say in New York, keep that same energy.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't affect our relationship with
no, we
Charlamagne.
good.
I'm
No,
good.
we're straight.
good.
And it's funny because
I
they
care
did
about you guys
interviews.
at Charlamagne.
They interviewed him post the whole thing, and they were like, "Nah, we cool. We don't got no beef." Blah blah blah. It was just he put on a show for his wife.
put on a
bro.
show for
you
his
know,
wife.
You know, come on, you know what it's like.
I don't, but
I don't know what that situation would be like.
Like
Well,
if you
yeah,
fuck-
that's
like, like if you forget if you
My
screw
wife
up,
was on a reality show, and
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
That's
can
the other
relate.
thing. It's like, yo, you're mad at us for commenting on pop culture when our show is a
Commenting
show
on
about
pop culture.
commenting about pop culture. So you went on you went on TV to talk about this. We talked about it, and now you're mad at us. You're not mad at like your booking agent or your PR dude who was like, "Yo, go air your dirty laundry with like Sherry Shepherd and whoever else is on that other like other View show." Like,
Lonnie Love.
oh, Lonnie Love. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's another beef we
I
have.
apologize.
That's another beef that came out of this because we can't tell the difference between The View and The Read.
The Real? The Read?
Real?
Is it? No, the Read is popping.
The Read is popping. Shout out to Crystal, the Kid Fury. Sorry about that. And it's The Real. Shout out to the guys
You know
over
what I'm
there.
saying?
Gang,
Shout out
gang.
to Jeff and Eric. Huh?
But
But
here's what's gonna happen:
Hmm?
the bigger your profile gets, the more people are gonna try to start shit with you.
Oh, we know it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because
But then-
they
but you
can't
know-
lose either way. If you come back, that's great for them, and if you don't say anything, then they're just getting free shots at you. They win
Jay-Z
both
explained
ways.
it. He said, "If I shoot you, I'm brainless. If you shoot me, I'm famous. What you're famous. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You can't win it.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
just
And they also forget that we are New York City public high school graduates. And that is like Navy SEAL training for roasting people. Like, you cannot get any better than that. Like, that's like the upper echelon. That's like Harvard for roasting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
you
Like,
see like LeBron have a game and like just like how, or like that
How?
time he did the
How?
pass through someone's leg and you're like how
how did you
That's us.
nutmeg? How did you no look nutmeg that guy right into the hoop?
Listen,
That's New York City public school.
What's the
again-
best New York City public school movie, in your opinion?
New York City's public school movie.
Juice. That's a deep question. Juice
Kids.
was good. Juice. Kids was wild.
Kids was wild.
Kids was wild.
Kids
'Cause
hasn't aged that great.
no,
in the Me Too era.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it bridged that gap between like
Yeah.
the '90s and like the early aughts or whatever. Like, and they showed
And that's literally
like,
what was going on at that time,
yeah.
like in New York
I
City.
just watched
schools.
Juice like 6 months ago and was shocked by how much I enjoyed it and how much it still held up.
It still goes up. It's a
I
good
watched
movie.
Paid in Full the other day and said the same exact thing. I was like, wow. I was like, Cameron is actually a pretty decent actor.
But you would think Juice wouldn't hold up because like in one of the main plot lines of Juice is like they're buying vinyl records.
Yeah.
Like they're shoplifting vinyl records. You're like, there's no way kids can relate to this. But you're watching it, it's like, yo, I
Yo.
can relate to the story.
I also think Dangerous Minds is kind of held up too.
I haven't seen that.
Which
in
wasn't a great
while.
movie,
Seen that
but
in a
it's
while.
basically a movie built around a Coolio song and
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer in a leather
Of
jacket.
them looking at each other.
It's
All
still
you need
good.
is Coolio and Michelle Pfeiffer. You gotta
Yeah.
Living most of my life.
I'm a
all
fat
in
sweaty
on-
guy.
I love
LV.
public school movies.
What about
I love when the public school and things aren't going well in the school, but then there's this one person, they provide hope.
So you like
Remember,
Joe?
I've always
You
hit
like
on
the Joe
those.
Clark movie?
Which one?
Joe Clark?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
What was the movie?
I love all those movies.
um,
The White Shadow is my favorite show growing up.
What was the parody of that movie?
Which one? Dangerous Minds or?
It was like a parody of all those like high school movies. It's
Oh,
I think
it
I
had
think it was
the long
John
title.
Lovitz
Yeah,
was in
yeah,
it.
Oh,
yeah.
High School High.
High School High.
High School
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is on the nose.
We're gonna do that. Mero's gonna do that one day. A movie about Mero
School
going
High.
back to the Bronx and helping kids.
Helping kids in the community.
Now
You
we
guys have anything to announce before we go? Anything coming? Anything you're excited about?
we got coming up.
we got a
We still got. We got more tour days coming. We got
Yeah.
2 nights in a row at the illustrious Wilbur
At the
Theater.
Wilbur, in your hometown.
In your
in Boston.
hometown.
You know what I'm saying? On Tremont.
Town.
Yes.
Yeah, right
Come
on
through.
Tremont.
When are you going?
May 4th and 5th.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Did you make sure to look at the schedule and make sure there wasn't Boston sporting events?
Oh, it doesn't
during
even
that
matter.
time?
It don't
It doesn't
even
matter.
matter.
We're coming out in full pinstripes with cleats and cups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron's going to intro us. It's going to be great.
No, Aaron Boone is introing us. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
He's going to slap the mic out of Bronson Arroyo's hand.
We're gonna get no more to come. Yeah, no more.
I'm so ready for this Red Sox Yankees season.
It's gonna be so great.
Fighting the first series. There's going to be more balls being thrown at people.
Oh my God. I
It's
was
going to
reading-
happen.
Yeah,
You
know
want to
it.
know how great this rivalry coming back is? This morning I was reading an article and it was breaking down how many Red Sox pitchers have hit Yankee batters over the course of the 100 years. And I'm just sitting there. They did the stats.
amazing.
They were like more Red Sox pitchers have thrown at Yankee batters in the history. It's like 11 the difference. But
yeah.
and I was just like,
It's still
wow,
up there.
no one cares about this other than Yankee or Red Sox
Red
fans. If you put this up on ESPN right now, you're gonna get a bunch of angry tweets like, "What the hell is this?
What
Talk
is
about
this?
the Astros."
Sorry, the Astros are doing great this year.
When I was 6 years old, Pinella slid into Fisk. Huge fight at home plate. Mickey Rivers is coming in, sucker punching everybody. They separate them, calms down, and Bill Lee starts talking shit to Greg Nettles, and Greg Nettles like just clocks him and then like body slams him and separated his shoulder. And it was like, it was the biggest ass kicking any team I think had gotten in a brawl. We got our asses kicked.
That's
and I was
wild.
6 and I was like, I fucking hate these guys. I'm so upset.
You know,
Made me
it's funny
so
when
mad.
you were younger, like it wasn't.
You
It
take
wasn't
that
like
shit so personal.
It wasn't like a knowledge rivalry. It wasn't
No.
like, yo, I'm a Yankee fan. You're like, I'm a Yankee fan because I have the hat and I'll knock you out. It was like that's not how you watch. But every loss hurt. Every win was like the greatest win. That's now, it's like now because you've seen enough seasons and you kind of like see the bigger picture. Like, all right, perspective.
Yeah, sports is like the ocean. You know it's gonna come in, it's gonna come out. You just gotta ride it. But the best Yankee fight though was the Orioles fight.
Yeah, I was just about to say
That
because
one,
I was so
would watch
torn.
like a documentary about that fight.
I was so
There's some
torn.
big ass dudes in that. Strawberry's like 6'7". Grant Lloyd.
Daryl Strawberry did the scorpion from Mortal Kombat flying punch into the. I was like, holy shit! And I was so torn because like Armando Benitez is De La Mia Personal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DR. And like his face was like, I'm not fucking around. He's like, I'm taking your head off. I'm gonna throw 100 miles an hour right at your temple and not get block off. And I was like, wow. This is old country shit, you know what I mean? And then he did it, and the whole shit popped off, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is
fights
wild."
this season seem more aggressive than they have in past. A lot of times there's a lot of like you stay over there, I stay over here. I'm gonna take first base. I'm gonna keep talking shit.
We keep talking shit,
and now people are just like, "Nah, let's
charge
go."
the mound, yeah.
Jalen always calls those the hold me back fights.
Yeah. Whoa. It's like,
Water,
stop.
wait for the catcher to attack you from behind.
You want to go at it? You want to go at it, bro? You want? Yeah, come over here. I got a rosin bag.
Remember when they said that about Lonzo Ball? That like, oh, he's not a team guy, blah blah blah, because he walked away from the fight and blah blah blah. And then he said afterwards, he's like, "Yo, this is the NBA. Nobody's fighting."
I actually like that. I thought
Yeah,
that was,
I was at first I was like, and then I was like, "You're right.
You're right.
Nobody's gonna throw a punch."
It's
the
not like
NBA.
back in the day. Because remember, I think back in the day, people had real jobs at night, and they also play in the NBA.
Chris
So-
Childs definitely worked for UPS after he punched
You know
Kobe in
what
the
I'm
face twice. He
did.
went to work his shift at
And now,
UPS.
if I'm a multimillionaire, you're a multimillionaire. We're fighting about what?
What?
We're fighting about what we got. You bumped me angrily during this rebound, but I'm still going home to my $54 million house.
You know what I'm saying? In my 12-car garage.
If I ran a baseball team, I would have 2 pitchers, relievers, the hard throwing relievers who are clearly going to throw anybody in the game, and give them MMA training.
Wow.
Because if you run full speed at an MMA guy, think of all the great ways they
he's
can
gonna
fuck you
take
up,
you down.
right? He could to the side, do a slide kick. He go
You know what I
under.
mean? You could scoop, what is it,
3
shoot
moves,
you, whatever. Yeah.
That would be like a death sentence. So if Joe Kelly had just trained with in the MMA for 6 months, he would have fucked Tyler Austin up.
Imagine
You
Joe Kelly.
gotta admit, Joe Kelly got washed though.
No, so what are you talking about?
He got out of there looking
Oh my
like
God.
he got into the worst bar fight ever. Like he's all,
Well,
his
he had
shirt's
his
all ripped
glasses
open, his
on.
glazed thing, and
He got a
everything's all
couple
messed
good
up.
ones though.
He
in
did.
there,
He
though.
did get a couple of good ones in. Not
And
taking
he's
away.
now like the most popular Red Sox player who's not one of the best players. People love Joe Kelly.
They do.
There's a Joe Kelly sweat t-shirt.
That's such a Boston name too. Hey, I'm Joe Kelly. What's up?
Well, you know what endeared him into Boston was him waving him on.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah, like, come on,
walking
bring-
toward
yeah,
and
bring
being
it.
like, let's
It's
go,
like, let's
I'm
go.
ready. That's like he's set for life for
man.
Boston.
He
after
threw the
that.
glove, right?
Yeah,
You threw the glove at him.
Yeah.
That's the part that kills me. You're about to go
the
into
glove never lands.
it's like,
No.
you're about to go knuckle to knuckle with another grow red, and he threw the glove, and the reaction is just kind of like, ah. That's just a natural reaction. You're like, ah.
You're
don't
about
give
to
the glove.
barehand punch me in the face, but I'm flinching at a leather glove. You know what I mean? That's been broken in.
Because when you throw it, it's like, I throw everything. Throw the rosin bag, the plate, everything. Let's go.
Well, we talked about it on the show. We talked about the fight that Manny had with who threw at Manny.
Manny never got in a fight. He would wander toward the mound to do a hold
Somebody
me back.
threw at him, and he charged the mound and threw like everything, like the helmet, the bat, the gloves, everything. And I was just like, again, torn. I was just like, man. I was like, you're
Wait,
from
that was in
Washington
the
Heights.
game where Don Zimmer got thrown down, right?
I think
That was 03. Yeah, that was the game.
that was a
Yeah.
game. Yeah, that was a game. And again, Pedro Martinez is like my uncle. Like,
This
you know
is
what
my
I'm saying?
hottest take of the podcast. Don Zimmer was asking for it.
He was.
He was asking.
He was.
Just
As a
period.
Yankee fan,
Yeah, he was.
Come on,
What
Don Zimmer.
I was like, yo, you're 79 years old. What
What
are you doing?
You know the
Charging
problem
charging
was?
people?
Don Zimmer thought he was 30 until he did that second roll.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, where were you going, fat? And then the ease of that, he went down. He just said,
Yo, yeah, it was wild. It was like me, getting my kids out of the way type of thing. Like,
There was some good karma for Red Sox fans in that because he fucked up 1978 for us.
"Ooh, Don Zimmer."
Don Zimmer.
Yeah.
He was the guy who played Carlton Fisk like every day and ran him into the ground and ran our pitching staff into the ground.
Yeah.
So
Because that's why
it was nice to watch that 79-year-old man roll around the ground like a fish.
That was because all these Yankee fans were like, "That's our guy, Don Zimmer." I was like, he wasn't always our guy.
Yeah, no, he was there. He came in the Red
And then I was
Sox.
like, that's when the rivalry is like, well, so we are staking our life and our loyalty to these guys that just go in between multi-million-dollar teams. For
before that, Don Zimmer was just the fat guy next to Joe Torre.
Right.
Like, after that, it was like, we must protect Don Zimmer. I was like, I don't
got like
really,
a street named
I was
after him in the
like,
Bronx now.
Nah, I was like, not
Last
really.
question. Who's the next Knicks coach?
The next Knicks coach
Next Knicks
is going
coach.
to be. It's not going to be Mark Jackson. I'll tell you that right now. It is
He'd
absolutely.
bring
He
God
mentioned
into
him.
the locker room.
He's not. He's not going to be. It's not going to be him.
I'm hearing Mike Woodson.
Like, what's this coming? Fizdale. I like Fizdale.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they have a tweet the other day that said Mike Woodson?
Wow.
And they explained it like this.
You had Mike Woodson.
Yeah,
you
but-
just had him.
Yeah.
This is the
He was
explanation.
just your
It's
coach.
like, yeah, it's like getting
Listen
divorced
to
and
this
getting married again.
explanation that not from like some Nick blog was explaining. It was like, well, what coach recently took the Knicks to the furthest in the playoffs? And I was like, but
I mean, it was Mike Woodson, but
You
then we
lost
had-
in round 2. Congratulations.
Yeah.
and they're like, we were in round 2. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
remember- Also,
Remember that?
we dropped balloons when we won a game in round 1.
Yeah, that was
so
kinda
very
wild.
sad. They were all dusty
That
too.
Boston series though, where Jared Jeffries had like the opportunity to win that game at the last second, and he missed a wide open layup.
Yeah.
Like that destroyed me, yo. Like I remember watching that in like my aunt's house, and it was just like me and my uncles, like that are like my 4 uncles that are like super into basketball. Like the rest of them are like baseball guys, and we watched it and we were just like, yo. So like our hearts were sucked out of our chests. I was just like, of all people to be standing under the basket to make an easy layup, it's Jared Jeffries. I was
Who
like,
do you think
yo,
is going to be the next Nick coach?
Not Mike Woodson.
Like Mark.
Well, does he care at all what the fans think? I guess is a good question. It
Does who
seems like
care?
the answer is no. James Dolan.
He's never cared.
no, he never cared. I would bring back Van Gundy. Why not?
They say he's not even in the running.
If it were me, I already made this case. I would choose Becky Hammond from the
Oh,
Spurs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yo, any Popovich disciple, I'll take any of them.
Popovich disciple, and you get basically a year of just for the first time, everybody's just rooting for her.
Yep.
Super happy.
Nobody's
What
on
a
the board.
moment this is.
Yeah.
This is a great thing for basketball,
You could
and
go-
nobody notices
yeah.
the shitty team on the
They,
floor.
they
for
could
like
go
a
2
year.
and 80, and it'll be
Yeah.
like
So
season was a
Becky Hammond.
success.
But see, the
That's
problem
great.
with that is the Knicks' history with women is a little.
But that's. But
you
that
really
could
want
also be the
Becky
reason
and
to do
Isaiah
it.
Thomas on the same
That's what I'm
panel?
saying. Like that's what James Dolan would do. James Dolan would hire Becky Hammond and then make Isaiah Thomas head of basketball operations.
Yeah,
You're right. He would 100%
he
do that.
would. He would.
I think
Thomas, I don't give a
Fizdale,
fuck what
I
women
think
think.
Fizdale's good, but I feel like he needs to go to a team that's actually good and has
Yeah.
a chance.
Do you think who? Kenny Smith?
Can he?
Here's my thing. Do you really think it matters that much with the
The
Knicks?
coach?
Yeah.
That's why I would hire Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like every coach that comes through there, it's just like they're just the guy.
Try something different. Try
Yeah.
to be a trailblazer on
Yeah.
something,
I
and
think
maybe you luck out and she's awesome.
It's either Norway, Sweden, or Switzerland. The actual Twitter account is the name of the country, and every month they pick a person from the country to run the Twitter account. Well, that's what the Knicks need to do. Just let a random New Yorker every week
Yeah.
just be coach.
Well, we're not that far away from that Whoopi Goldberg movie.
know what I'm
we,
saying?
we gotta do that too.
that.
What was that? It was
Eddie.
Eddie too.
Eddie too. Me and you were running the Knicks, and
You know what I'm
finally
saying?
get fed up and just play in Tim's.
I just want to go on the record and say that I enjoyed Eddie. I still enjoy Eddie.
It's a great movie. I love
Eddie's
Whoopi Goldberg.
funny. It's got good Knick stuff. It's got weird players from that era that I enjoy.
You're
Malik
looking at them, you're
Sealy
like,
and
are you-
Dwayne Shinsis, all these. It's
And
just
then
great.
Also, they were just like filming it during real Knick games.
Yeah.
It's just
And the NBA, for some reason, thought it was a good idea.
It was
They're like,
like,
yeah,
oh.
use our uniforms. It'll
Yeah,
be
cool,
great.
no doubt, no
they-
problem.
Imagine
Yeah,
trying to
this would be
make
a
that
huge
movie now. They'd be like, oh, so you want to use actual NBA logos?
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Oh, you want to film in the
And
middle of
players?
Oh, players?
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're having
Yeah.
problems here. Yeah, Michael
Are you going
Doliak
through a
won't sign a
tunnel?
release.
I can't.
All right, guys.
Marty
is
Collins refuses to participate.
great.
Bill, thanks for having us on again.
Yes.
A pleasure as always.
Yes.
Now we got to do
gotta
it
return
home
the
to home. I
favor.
got to come on yours next time.
Definitely,
I'm in
man.
New York.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
Just a pleasure. Good luck, guys.
My
My
guy.
guy, he's treating my holla.
All right, thanks to nephew Kyle for coming in Sunday night to produce this. Thanks to Desus and Mero. Don't forget to check out their show on Viceland. thanks to ZipRecruiter, our presenting sponsor. Go to ZipRecruiter.com. Check them out. I don't know how many times I could tell you how great ZipRecruiter.com is. ZipRecruiter. Great offices, too. Wow. Nice view of the Pacific Ocean. Really impressive. Don't forget about SeatGeek. $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase on any game or sporting event for whatever you want. Use promo code BS. Download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. Don't forget about the Recappables. We just added Westworld, the Recappables. If you love Westworld, check that out. Don't forget about the Ringer NBA show coming to you. It's already up. We did it last night, and it's coming all week. We're also doing a special Wednesday night podcast as well, and podcasts every day this week. Ringer NFL show. We have a bunch of draft stuff coming. GM Street is back. Mays and Clark. Thursday night, we have a whole bunch of stuff planned for that. And same thing for the Ringer.com. NBA playoffs, NFL draft. This is our time. We love this. This is our favorite content time of the year right now. Thanks for listening. Back with 2 more podcasts this week on the Bill Simmons podcast. Until then.